Snapped. Inside a simple house in Karin village. The red-haired, red-eyed girl with glasses trembled inside, accidentally knocked over the water glass, and the hot water flowed down the table to her lap without noticing it. She took off her glasses and rubbed her eyes. After carefully looking through the diary, she made sure that she read it correctly. The plan to save Xianglin's wife. Yes, are you going to save me? Intense expectations filled the girl's eyes, as well as longing for life in the future. She can't trust the people in Grass Ninja Village, and she wants to escape from this devil's den. She hoped that her mother would not die and could leave with herself. If it is an adult who travels through, he will definitely be able to do it. Boom. Xianglin stood up excitedly and ran towards the bedroom. Mother. Pushing open the door, Xianglin excitedly wanted to say something. But the next moment, her smile froze and turned into panic. Because her mother was lying on the bedside coughing, there was obviously some white in the withered light red hair, and her body became very thin. Mom. What's wrong with you? Xianglin rushed to the bed, crying in her voice. Xianglin, don't cry. Uzumaki Mikuna stretched out her hand to stroke Kaorin's cheek, and said with a smile, Mom is just too tired and hasn't recovered well, just sleep. Don't worry. Mom still wants to watch Xianglin become a ninja, and do tasks to earn money to buy delicious food for Mom. Mikuna said it very easily, but Xianglin knew that she was just comforting herself. Combined with some stories that Mikuna told when she was a child, combined with the information written in Xiao Yuchen's diary, she knew that she was from the Uzumaki clan, a descendant of Ashura, the second son of Sage of Six Paths. The mother's ability to quickly restore other people's chakra and injuries after being bitten by the skin must be a special ability inherited by the family. There must be a price to be paid for using this ability, otherwise Mikana's original fiery red hair would not have collapsed to this point in a few years. She had a premonition that when Mikana's hair turned white, it was the time to die. If you can't get effective treatment and recovery, this day will not be too far away. Mom. Why don't you bite me and recover? Xianglin's eyes became firm. But hearing her words, Minako immediately covered her mouth with her hand, her expression became very nervous, and she said in a low voice, Karin, remember. Until you have enough strength to leave Kusanagi village, you must not reveal that you have this ability. No, it's best never to tell the second person. Promise Mom. Okay. It wasn't long before Xianglin awakened this ability, and it was not enough to recover other people's chakra and injuries after being bitten by the skin, so he needed to actively extract chakra for cooperation. But in the eyes of Mikana, this is the ray of life for Xianglin. As long as she doesn't take the initiative to expose, she doesn't have to bear the same tragic fate as herself. I know. Looking at her mother's serious eyes, Xianglin trembled in her heart and nodded solemnly. Mikuna breathed a sigh of relief, let go of her hand and said, Go, pour a glass of boiling water for Mom. Yeah. Xianglin immediately followed suit and trotted away. Mikuna looked at her back with tenderness in her eyes. As a pure blood descendant of the Uzumaki family, she is born with strong vitality and a large amount of chakra. As long as she gets enough rest, she shouldn't be here. But these bastards in Sao Ninja Village are not human. Now she doesn't think about it anymore, she just hopes to help Xianglin a little more. According to the current situation, she can probably last for about half a year. During this period of time, she will try her best to win the opportunity for Xianglin to go to Konoha to take the Chunin exam. Although Konoha disappointed their Uzumaki clan, Uzumaki was there, at least not like her. When Xianglin reaches Konoha, she will give it a go. Well. Tears welled up in Xianglin's eyes when he came outside the bedroom. She didn't understand why the village treated her mother like this when her father died in battle for Sao Ninja Village and her mother showed her abilities to save her teammates. This is a den of demons, inhabited by a group of demons in human skin. However, I'm not afraid. Xianglin's eyes suddenly became firm. She thought of Xiao Yuchen, and what he wrote in his diary that he would come to save her. He called his wife on it. Although he said that this wife is a bit much, he definitely likes him. As long as she can save herself and her mother from the devil's lair, she can do whatever she wants. It takes about 7 days to make a horse-drawn carriage from Kusanagi village to Konoha village, and half a month to go back and forth. I'll wait another month. If he doesn't come, I can only expose my abilities. Xianglin wanted to expose his abilities several times, replacing Mikuna as a tool for Kusanagi to recover chakra and injuries. She doesn't want to lose her mother. After waiting for a long time, it finally came out. Outside Konoha village, Xiao Yuchen stood on a big tree, overlooking the gate of the village. There are barriers and patrolling ninjas around Konoha village. If you break out by force, you will be found. If you want to enter and leave the village through formal channels, you need a document signed by Hokage and accepted by the gate guard. He didn't want others to know about his going out, so he secretly left the mark of Flying Thunder God on the caravan that was about to leave the village, and escaped using this technique. Grasson village is in the northwest of Konoha. According to the meaning of the ontology, a Flying Thunder God Kanai will be arranged every 15,000 meters. Withdrawing his gaze, Xiao Yuchen's shadow clone started to move. The straight line distance from Kusanagi village to Konoha village is more than 1,000 kilometers. If you use Flying Thunder God to drive, you need to use the maximum power nearly times. With his current strength of 2 cards chakra, even less after shadow clone, obviously not enough. As for the main body, it is not impossible to hurry while recovering, but he does not have so much time to leave Konoha for the time being. So he thought of a way, which is to let Shadow Clone come out to arrange the Flying Thunder God mark in advance, and go to Kusanagi village to check in advance. When the strength is stronger, you can save people. Shua. Shadow Clone disappears into darkness. At this time, Xiao Yuchen himself had just finished eating ramen and returned home. He originally wanted to make dinner by himself, but found that many of the dishes and seasonings he wanted could not be bought, so he could only use ramen to deal with it. He has already made up his mind, and when he gets the money, he will issue a task for Quan Konoha to help him find materials. Next, consolidate on climbing trees and treading water. After laying out the mattress, Xiao Yuchen began to experiment with the walls of his home. The time soon came to 0. Under the expectations of the girls, the copy of the diary automatically turned to the last page. The diary reward function is officially developed. Reward 1. Increase your chakra by 1%. Winners: Otsutsuki Kagaya, Hyuga Hinata, Yamanaka Ino. Seeing this line of words, Otsutsuki Kagaya felt nothing in his heart. But in the next moment, feeling the chakra emerging from her body, her white eyes shrank suddenly. How can it be? Power, back. Feeling the chakra springing up in his body, Kagaya felt unreal. She can't remember how long she was sealed in the first ball space, but it must be more than 1,000 years. At the beginning, all the chakra in her body was taken away by Otsutsuki Yuya, and 6 paths planetary devastation completely sealed the first ball space, so that she could not feel the natural chakra. In the past thousands of years, without a single trace of chakra available, she could only sit on the top of the frozen mountains and sleep, or look at the endless glaciers, and could do nothing else. But now, although the strength is weak, the familiar feeling has returned. An increase of 1% is actually floating on the upper limit of the chakra volume of the concubine. After feeling it carefully, Wei Yi understood what was going on. Originally, she thought that there was no chakra available in her body, so a 1% increase in 0 would still be 0. But the fact is that her overall chakra cap is increased by 1%, which is part of her that she never owned, nor does it belong to 10 tails. So this part of the chakra amount, she can use at her disposal. Shua. With a light wave of Kaguya's hand, the glacier in Fang Yuan 10 miles away melted and turned into a sea. The thunder roared, and the waves surged into the sky, carrying the aura of destroying heaven and earth. This is a long-lost power that makes her intoxicated. Unfortunately, when she tried to summon Geto statue, or forcibly open the seal outside the space, she found that she couldn't do it at all. The concubine is still too weak. Let the environment return to calm. Kagaya returned to the top of the mountain, and quietly perceived the situation outside the initial ball space. The planetary devastation blessed by the power of 6 paths can absorb the natural chakra reinforcement seal autonomously. She felt the walls were solid, preventing her from getting in touch with the natural chakra outside. But more or less, it can still be absorbed. Soon, she came to a conclusion. With her current situation, slowly absorbing the natural chakra to restore her strength, she will be able to break the seal after 1,000 days. Sitting down like this for more than 1,000 years, 1,000 days is naturally not a problem. What's more, there is Xiao Yuchen's diary. As long as he is mentioned 10 more times and his strength becomes stronger again, he will naturally be able to break the seal faster. In this way, the concubine forgives your offense by mentioning the name of the concubine. This diary is indeed a little more powerful than I imagined. Xiao Yuchen, help this concubine to be free as soon as possible, and I will reward you. Otsutsuki Kagaya held a copy of the diary in his hand and muttered. In addition to her, there are many women who feel that their chakra volume has increased. This made them more and more convinced of the magic of the diary, and began to look forward to the other 2 rewards. 2. Randomly select one person, who has been mentioned more than 10 times and has watched the diary, to receive a random magic blessing. The draw is successful, the winner is Uzumaki Kushina, and the magic blessing is XXX, the winner chooses to hide. Seeing this, it's okay for people who don't know who Uzumaki Kushina is. But those who knew her identity could not remain calm. Can a dead person own a diary? Still Kushina is still alive. In a tavern, Tsunade was lying on the table with a bottle in his arms, his clothes were loose, and his shoulders slipped off, revealing a beautiful spring, but only Shizune could see it. Seeing the name of the deceased in Xiao Yuchen's pen, she was already in a daze. I never thought that the diary would also mention the deceased and give rewards. Master Tsunade, Sister Kushina must be dead. Yuchen-kun mentioned it in the diary. Shizune remained awake and calmly analyzed. The prerequisite for getting the second reward was mentioned 10 times, and the diary has been viewed today. This shows that Sister Kushina also has a diary in her hand. Obviously, the power of the diary can affect the Pure Land. Hearing this, Tsunade's eyes suddenly recovered. The diary has the power to affect the Pure Land, so the reward for resurrection is more credible. Tomorrow morning, hurry up. Return to Konoha within 3 days. Tsunade is full of energy. The other women holding a copy of the diary also have their own analysis and ideas. Kushina, the person who received the reward, was not in a good mood at this time. Really, how could you give me such a useless magic blessing? Can't it be a temporary resurrection, or the kind that can contact other people? Come on, Nai. The magical blessing that Kushina received was called infinite energy. The effect is also very simple, that is, she can use unlimited chakra for the next day. But now that she is dead, and her soul is trapped in the sealed space, what is the use of chakra's infinity? What's more, there is the power bank of 9 tails, she does not lack chakra at all. It's better to give this halo to Makoto, and the two can still play videos. Makoto, can we chat? Hey, the magic blessings I got are useless. What is infinite energy? It's just tasteless, come on. Kushina typed a line on the chat bar boredly. In the Pure Land, Uchiha Makoto saw this and decided to ignore it. Xiao Yuchen's diary was too scary. She felt that her soul had been hollowed out and she needed several days to recover. Before that, she didn't plan to pay attention to Kushina, and kept her energy to pay attention to the diary. Well, she's definitely not jealous that Kushina got rewarded, absolutely not. Damn. Why is Kushina, a silly woman, so lucky, but I don't even have the reward to increase chakra? She was mentioned 10 times by name, all because of Naruto. Little Sasuke, why don't you be a little bit more forceful, and make people think of mom more? Reward 3. Obtain some kind of reward randomly, including but not limited to blood succession limit, various special ninjutsu secret techniques, tail beast chakra, special constitution, designated resurrection, etc. A third message appears on the copy of the diary. All the girls couldn't help but raise their spirits, because this is the reward they care about the most. As for the winners, they have already known it in their hearts, after all, they know how to count. Winner. Hyuga Hinata, reward. Randomly obtain a ninjutsu that will be mastered in the future. A ninjutsu that will be mastered in the future? Hinata poked her head out of the blanket, expectant eyes. The next moment, she saw a line of writing. The lottery draw will end, you will get ninjutsu, 8 trigrams double lion crash. 8 trigrams double lion collapse. An advanced version of the soft step double lion fist, which requires Otsutsuki chakra. But after receiving all the information, Hinata subconsciously exclaimed. Sugoi. This kind of power. Okay, so powerful. Clearly feeling the changes in the body, each cell seemed to be injected with some kind of powerful force, Hinata instinctively sat upright, and the chest that had begun to take shape continued to rise and fall. They, the Hyuga clan, are famous for their supercilious eyes. They have the 4 abilities of long-distance vision, clairvoyance, insight, and self-enhancement. Among them, the first 3 are available as long as you open your eyes, and the latter one is based on blood talent and acquired hard work, as well as the mastery of Gentle Fist. Gentle Fist is their Hyuga family's ancestral physical skill, which can drive their own chakra into the opponent and damage the enemy's meridian system and organs. It was born specifically to cooperate with white eyes. The basis of Gentle Fist is the 8 trigrams palms method, starting with a small group of 8 palms, and a complete group of 64 palms. After this, there are advanced moves, such as Revolving Heaven, such as Guardian 8 trigrams 64 palms, and 8 trigrams air palm, etc. The Rubu Double Lion Fist is a secret advanced physical skill that only the sect can learn, and it is above the ordinary advanced moves. The 8 trigrams Double Lion Collapse is an advanced move of the soft step Double Lion Fist, which needs to be infused with Otsutsuki Hamura's chakra. So now she has not only mastered the 8 trigrams Double Lion Collapse, she has also become a Grand Master of the soft step Double Lion Fist as a prerequisite, and the 8 trigrams 64 palms and Revolving Heaven that she barely mastered before are perfect. Not to mention her genius cousin Neji that day, in terms of mastery of these Gentle Fist moves, even the oldest patriarch of the clan is inferior to her. But the biggest gain of mastering this body art is not these, but the Hamura chakra that comes with it. Baian, it really can evolve like Sharingan. Hinata reached out to stroke her temples, only to feel that the white eyes became more and more light. She understands that this is not an illusion, but that the white eyes have undergone some kind of qualitative change after incorporating some Otsutsuki chakra. The genes in her body were activated, making her realize what she has gained. Not only has the telescopic distance been greatly increased, saving her a lot of practice time, but the degree of perspective has also become more advanced, and she can even tell who the owner of chakra is with her eyes. Insight into and enhancement of one's own abilities will naturally improve significantly. In addition, she also learned that Baian has a higher realm, not Tensigan, and can open exclusive pupil techniques, white eye coercion, hollow, white eye illusion, future foretelling, mind reading, etc. Because she has Otsutsuki chakra and white eyes, she only needs to practice step by step, and one day she can have her own exclusive pupil technique. Such power, such power. Hinata gradually clenched her hands, her eyes were firmer than ever before. With such power, I can protect Hanabi, protect the family, and don't need caged bird at all. I can definitely. All fear comes from the lack of firepower. Hinata's current state perfectly interprets this sentence. What low self-esteem, what fear, nothing in the face of absolute strength. With graduation approaching, Hinata will never forget who made such a big change for herself. Teacher Yuchen. Hinata put her small hands on her chest, her pure white eyes were like water. Thank you. Drawing ends, Hyuga Hinata gets Taiju XXX, the winner chooses to keep it secret. Seeing this information, the girls subconsciously pondered. Randomly getting a trick that will be mastered in the future, this reward is not bad, but it varies from person to person, and there is a lot of uncertainty. If you are a top powerhouse in the future, if you are lucky enough to get a future killer, your strength will skyrocket immediately. But if the future strength is mediocre, even if you get the strongest ninjutsu, the increase in strength is estimated to be limited. And this is still a case of luck, which in turn may waste this opportunity. Thinking about it this way, they don't have much envy for the winners. Well, you can sleep now. They are all staying up late to see the rewards for the first time. Now that the results are out, the girls are yawning and getting ready to go to bed. But the next moment, they all cheered up again. I got the Shuriken Shadow Clone technique yesterday, and I think I am the Emperor of Europe. Sacrificing sleep time tonight, I want to receive the diary reward as soon as possible, so be happy. In the end, I wanted to say 2 words, outrageous. It turned out to be 1,000 years of death. Do I need you to reward me for this move? Xiao Yuchen was full of resentment, wishing to tear up the funny diary in front of him. To put it bluntly, it is 1,000 years of death. To be honest, isn't it Huyin bursting chrysanthemums. Although the taijutsu developed by Muyabaya Hitaki Sakumo has horrific killing power as painful as death for 1,000 years, it is only an E-level taijutsu after all. From the Emperor of Europe to the Chieftain of Africa, only in one day? At this moment, he felt the power pouring into his body from the diary. A great deal of mental and physical energy is developed which can be distilled into chakra. Another chakra credit card. At the same time, a lot of information emerged in my mind, about how to quickly form a tiger seal, how to secretly go around the back, how to use force, how to explode chrysanthemums without red and yellow things, etc. After thorough digestion, Xiao Yuchen's expression became very strange. 1,000 years of death, the 1,000 years of death he knew, but not quite. The 1,000 years of death that the diary gave him was not the Kakashi version, but the Would Ye Buy a Peak version. Therefore, he also got 3 additional things. 1. White Fang Body Flicker Technique. 2. White Fang Stealth. 3. White Fang's hand speed. I have to admit, I spoke a little louder just now. Would ye buy ya Hitaki Shuo Mao, forever drop god. Kakashi, look at what you have inherited. You quit the group, from now on I am the true biography of White Fang. Do you understand the gold content of Konoha's teleportation technique? Tactical back. See these few messages. The most luxurious and best hidden hot spring in Konoha. Azuki Shion stood up suddenly, her eyes were full of fire regardless of the spring light. This guy actually got the true biography of Senior White Fang? This kind of true inheritance, I also want. Huh. Anko, who was already a little drunk, raised his head, licked his tongue and said, want. Shi Yan, you are indeed old, but it depends on whether Yu Chen is willing to give it to you. Azuki Shion. You better be talking about the true sword technique of Senior White Fang. Clatter. Yu Hihong leaned against the shore with one hand resting on her chin, and put the other hand into the hot spring, splashing a splash of water onto Anko's face, and said with a soft smile, Anko, do you want to listen to what I have to say? Say what? Anko leaned against the rock wall, put his hands on the shore, and let his pet drift with the current, his legs looming in the hot spring. Of course I'm talking about the inheritance of White Fang's sword skills. This bastard is so lucky that he can get such a good reward. As he said that, Anko suddenly pressed a pet into the hot spring sideways, and asked Azuki Shion. You said just now that you wanted to get the experience of Senior White Fang's sword technique, but you didn't want to be misunderstood by Moonlight Gale, so you don't have to worry about it now. Gone. I wasn't entangled in the first place. Azuki Shion said with a light smile. Don't forget who Gaifeng bought Senior White Fang's swordsmanship experience from. Kurenai Yuhi and Anko have a good understanding. Azuki Shion is going to ask Hitaki Kakashi to buy it directly. Moonlight Gale knew it, and was afraid that he would cry and faint in the toilet. Moonlight Gale's careful thoughts really can't be hidden from you. Shi Rihong took a sip from the wineglass and said, what are you going to do to him? Of course it is a direct rejection. Yo, so cruel? Anko stared at Shion's pet with a teasing smile. Just because I saw it, I decided to refuse. I don't like ambiguity. Azuki Shion picked up a bath towel to bathe her two pets, with a very serious expression. It's not my ego. Among Konoha's peers, there is no one who is pleasing to the eye and can beat me, except Senior Kakashi. But Kakashi-san's girlfriend is a book, and may also have left and right hands, which is impossible with me. So I decided to find a man who can share a common language and treat me wholeheartedly. Studying swordsmanship with Moonlight Gale is to observe whether he is suitable. But now, there is no need to continue, the distance between each other should be appropriate. Anko and Yuhihong understand that what Azuki Shion said is necessary does not mean that Xiao Yuchen has White Fang inheritance, and Moonlight Gale has no use value. She's saying that she's already interested in Xiao Yuchen. Before she is sure that Xiao Yuchen is not the man she wants, she will not give others a chance, or even a wrong signal. Azuki Shion has always been the kind of person who knows what she wants. Anko and Yuhihong are very envious, even adore her character. And you, have you thought about what to do to Asuma? Azuki Yuyan looked at Yuhihong. Don't think about it, it must be a refusal, that guy will go as far as I can. Some Shihahong, who was drunk, spoke wildly. Then why do you look so preoccupied? Anko wondered. Does it need to be said? Shion knew Yuhihong's gentle nature, and said, I'm afraid that the direct refusal will offend third Hokage, and I won't be able to visit Kurama Yakumo on a regular basis. Yes. Shihahong said frankly, I wouldn't have such worries before. But now that I know the old monkey's tricks, I can't stop worrying. Yu Hahong is also really on top, and dares to say anything. Anko took a sip of his wine, and echoed with a smile. Azuki Shion was still rational, and changed the subject decisively. Hong, actually, you don't have to worry at all, you can completely accept the instructor task given by third generation. Do you want me to agree? Shi Hahong had an absurd expression on her face. Admitting to third generation does not mean accepting Asuma. Azuki Shion smiled and said, being an instructor is a task given to you by third generation, and you are just completing the task. Don't take it as a favor and value it. Third generation shameless. Everything they do is subtly influenced and guided by the situation, but they will never be open and honest with you, saying that everything they give you is a deal, and let you give Asuma a chance and so on. As long as you insist on not accepting Asuma, it means that his son has failed himself. What can third generation blame you for? One word awakens the dreamer. Yuhi's red eyes became brighter and brighter, and finally nodded and said, you were right, I am stupid. Shi Yan, you really are the wisdom of our girlfriends group. Saying that, Yuhihong suddenly pounced on Azuki Shion. What are you doing? Azuki Shion was thrown into the hot spring. Post stickers. Just soak in the hot springs and take a good soak. Thank you for reminding me, I'll wipe your back for you. Wipe your back. Just wipe your back, don't touch your hands or feet. Shion resisted Yuhihong's attack. Anko looked interesting and decided to join the battle group. For a while, the three of them fought together. At the same time, Xiao Yuchen closed his diary, filled with emotion. Everyone in the world knows that Yi Bai is unparalleled in swordsmanship. But in fact, the martial arts in the world, ninjutsu, the only thing that can't be broken is fast. Top-notch movement speed, top-notch dodging skills, top-notch concealment and stealth ability, coupled with lightning-like knife speed, have created the legend of Mu Yi Bai. He also fused it all into 1,000 Years of Death, which is hard to watch. It's no wonder that a ninja from Tanjian village said that Hitaki Tsukumo was called Konoha's White Fangs because of the terrifying lethality of 1,000 Years of Death. Kakashi once said that his 1,000 Years of Death was far less powerful than Tsukumo. He still thought it was funny, and thought what difference could there be. But now, he finally knew the gold content of Konoha Shinobi's esoteric body art. This body flicker technique, this stealth technique, and this speed of attack are worthy of Mu Yi Baya, the father of the first technician. I can also learn Flying Thunder God technique, and if I learn Rasengan, I'm better than both of them. Li Tian is still far from being invincible, but Xiao Yuchen feels that he is definitely at the top of the cage level ninja. It's only been 2 days, and I really don't have much experience. Mitarashi Anko, just to use you as an experiment. Putting away the diary, Xiao Yuchen moved his wrists and stood up. As the #1 salted fish in the ninja world, he stays up late without sleeping, so he really isn't waiting for a reward. Is there any difference between sleeping in the morning and waking up naturally? The reason why he hasn't slept until now is that he is preparing to avenge the one shot yesterday morning. Anko sneaked up on him, then he will sneak back and beat him back. It's not his woman, he won't get used to it. Sensed. The perception technique was activated, and the chakra fluctuations within 100 meters of Fang Yuan, and the Flying Thunder God imprint chakra fluctuations within 10,000 miles of Fang Yuan, all came into mind. He quickly sensed the imprint of Flying Thunder God secretly left on Anko's shoulder. Transformation technique, turning into a nightclothes state where you can't see your face. Shua. Xiao Yuchen teleported to Anko's side. Mitarashi Anko, prepare to be beaten. Xiao Yuchen shouted in his heart. But when he saw the situation at the scene, his pupils shrank suddenly. Mistgrass. The largest hot spring in Konoha, in a luxurious private room. The hot air fills the surface of the hot spring water, but it cannot hide some graceful curves. Speaking of which, summoning beasts are good partners of ninjas, and powerful ninjas like raising summoning beasts. Such as Konoha Sanin's famous summoning beast, Snake, Toad, Katsuyu. Kakashi loves dogs, and the Uchiha family loves cats. Ordinary female ninjas all love to raise bears. Whoever raises the bear well will be envied by the same sex and admired by the opposite sex. Even with Katsuyu's Senju Tsunade, it is inevitable to join it and lead the record. And Yuhihong and Anko really deserve to be Izuki Shien's good girlfriends. They are reluctant to let her suffer a little bit. They control one of her hands, and then shoulder the burden of bathing Shien's summoning beast pet bear. Tonight is the round of the Anko group. I originally wanted 2 girlfriends to taste how my summoning beast bear was bred. But she didn't expect that Shi Rihong and Izuki Shien were working in secret, which was better than what she had cultivated. I suspect I haven't eaten too much dessert. Anko was full of resentment. Yuhihong and Izuki Shien looked at each other and smiled. But the next moment, their expressions changed drastically. Just because a person wrapped in black appeared behind Anko. As soon as the man appeared, he swung a fist straight for Anko's neck. Not good. Yuhihong and Izuki Shien made a lightning move. The former double 10 quickly formed seals, maintained a kneeling posture, and lined up his hands on the hot spring. Illusion Sanwei Sakura. At the same time, Azuki Yuyan stood up with a carp, swung his right hand on the wristband of his left hand, took out the samurai sword sealed in it, injected it directly into chakra and swung it. This is a move in conjunction with Yuhihong's illusion technique, and the shot is to go straight to the vital point. And Anko was not idle, also maintaining a kneeling posture, ready to perform body replacement technique. But at this moment, when the Shadow Man's fist was about to touch Anko, the figure suddenly disappeared. Shua. Azuki Yugo's samurai sword sliced through the air. Boom. Anko's figure turned into a piece of wood, and her real person came out from under the sakura tree beside her, and said murderously, "Damn it. What bastard actually came to plot against me?" She put her hands on her hips, and the 2 summoning beast bears raised their momentum for her, as if they wanted to beat up the person who made the attack. Azuki Shien didn't answer, but looked at Yuhihong. "It's not an illusion, and that person didn't fall into my illusion," Yuhihong said in a deep voice. "Isn't it an illusion?" Azuki Shien held the knife in one hand, and said with a vigilant expression, "If a real person attacked, it would be impossible to disappear without a trace under the watchful eyes of the 3 of us, without even a trace of using the body flicker technique." Let me confirm again. Yuhihong also knew that Azuki Shien was right. Although the 3 of them are women, she is the Jonin of Grandmaster Illusion and Perception. Azuki Yugo is the Grandmaster Melee, Vigilant in Combat experienced Anbu Jonin. Although Anko is only a special Jonin, as a disciple of Orochimaru, he has mastered many methods. There may be some strong men who can kill them, but it is impossible to sneak in and leave without them noticing. What's more, this is a hot spring, there are not many places to hide. There is no problem with perception, and there are no vision chakra around. There is no disorder in our chakra. Kurenai Yuhi opened her eyes, her voice was decisive. I didn't find anything unusual about my snake either. Anko had 2 snakes in his hands at some point, and was uttering snake letters. His vertical pupils looked a bit cold. What's going on? Azuki Shion was puzzled. But soon, he thought of something, and suddenly looked at Yu Hahong. What's wrong? Do you think it will be him? He? Who? Teleportation. Sneak attack on Anko. I say so, can you think of the answer? Hearing this, Yu Hahong and Anko looked at each other, and immediately said in unison, Xiao Yuchen. Huh, it's dangerous. On the Konoha Hokage rock, Xiao Yuchen, who was blowing cold wind, finally regained his composure. It was already 1 o'clock in the morning, and who would have thought that Anko would take Yu Hahong and Azuki Shion to drink in the hot spring? The first time he was flying Thunder God, he would sneak up and beat people up, leaving Anko with a painful lesson. Even after he had planned to beat Anko until his nose was bruised and his face was swollen, he left a sentence. This is called sneak attack. This is called beating. But when he punched halfway, he noticed the situation on the scene. Anko and Yu Hahong lay on their stomachs in the hot spring, each controlling Azuki Yuyan's hand and helping her take a bath. The strong boudoir affection, but it had a great impact on him. This scene reminded him of a lot of fanbooks he read in his previous life. I thought it was a bit exaggerated, but who knew the reality was even more unbelievable. He just wanted to beat Anko up, but he didn't expect the other party to send such a wave of benefits by coincidence. How could he be able to beat people ruthlessly? But realizing that something was wrong, he left decisively. Otherwise, at this moment, he might have inherited Jiraiya's reputation in Konoha. No, he's a real man. To this day, I want to say a fair word. Xiao Yuchen sat down cross-legged, took out his diary, and wrote a line. This made the women who were about to go to bed cheer up again, and they were slandering in their hearts. The guy who claims to be the #1 salted fish in Tianzi. Why is he so willing to stay up late today? Isn't it him? Kuranai Yuhi and the 3 exchanged glances. This inexplicable remark obviously has nothing to do with what happened just now. But if it wasn't for Xiao Yuchen, this matter would have been serious, and they would definitely kill people. No, it was Xiao Yuchen, so he had to be taught a lesson. It's not because Jiraiya is lustful and loves to peep, but because the beauty of the hot spring is so charming. But I don't agree with him doing this. It's too unmanly to ruin the reputation of women. You can catch them all, and you can do whatever you want behind closed doors. This world does not limit the harem. Despise it. Seeing these contents, the 3 daughters of Yu Hahong immediately caught the true culprit. And the other women showed melon-eating expressions. Which sister is this scene? Don't talk about identity, don't talk about identity, don't talk about it. If you dare to say it, we will kill him. But he knows time and space ninjutsu, who can do anything to him? In the hot spring pool, the 3 girls of Yu Hahong gathered together, looking very nervous. The 3 of them were all looked down on, and they were considered difficult sisters, and difficult sisters, there was no difference. But apart from themselves, it is known that Hinata, Ino, Kurama Yakumo and Uzumaki Kushina also have a copy of the diary, and those who are not sure of their identities don't know how many more. If only they knew what happened tonight through the diary. Isn't that completely dead? For example, Kuranai Yuhi, how will she face her future student Hyuga Hinata? This guy is not a bad guy. The girls who were not troubled by the 3 of Yu Hahong, while looking forward to eating melons, subconsciously praised Xiao Yuchen for the 3. Those old perverts just thought about having their eyes addicted, but they never thought that doing so would cause any trouble to the woman being peeped. What if I have a weaker personality, feel that I am not clean, and commit suicide? What should they do if they have a boyfriend or husband? How should mothers with children deal with themselves? Sure enough, the next time you see Jiraiya, just hit him up. Tsunade clenched his fists. When Shizune heard the words, it was rare that he didn't say anything to dissuade him. She admitted that Jiraiya-sama is an excellent ninja with a charismatic personality, but his personal morality is indeed lacking. Did she know that Jiraiya once tried to spy on Tsunade, but Tsunade was keenly aware of it and beat him up? At that time, Jiraiya was almost killed, and since then she has remained lustful but not courageous towards Tsunade. Men can be lustful, such as Kakashi reading pornographic books, but they must not be without a bottom line. Otherwise, Jiraiya may not have no chance to chase Tsunade. It should be despised indeed. Many women thought to themselves. The next moment, they finally knew the details of the incident and the cause and effect. I really can't blame me for this incident, it can only be blamed on Mitarashi Anko. Damn it. The full name was revealed, and Anko expressed that he wanted to die. Yu Hahong and Azuki Shion were nervous, and they were not in the mood to comfort her at all. Don't hurt the innocent. How about I die with him? Anko's chest rose and fell. Let's see what he says first. Azuki Shion told Anko to keep calm. Yesterday morning, at about 10 o'clock, Mitarashi Anko came to attack me out of nowhere, saying that it was because I was too handsome. May I ask who doesn't know this? I am from a certain Lu reader. Pooh. The girls rolled their eyes. I have never seen such a narcissistic person. Is a certain Lu reader per capita Uchiha? The reason people want to beat you up is because you said that you will become a fat woman. However, they acted randomly without finding a good reason. This sister, who also has a copy of the diary, is a bit too impulsive. That is, Yue Xian's wife stopped in time, otherwise I would have to beat her up even if I showed my strength. I'm not used to it. Azuki Xian? Everyone remember this name. Azuki Xian's heart had already reached her throat. It is said that it is not too late for a gentleman to take revenge for 10 years, but for a real man to take revenge, from morning to night. Although the fight was stopped by Xian's wife, I took the opportunity of provocation to secretly leave the Flying Thunder God mark on Mitarashi Anko, preparing to let her know what is a real sneak attack and what is a real beating. Seal of Flying Thunder God. It's the Flying Thunder God technique. The girls quickly updated their assessment of Xiao Yuchen's strength and danger. It turns out that the teleportation ability is the Flying Thunder God technique, and the last person who mastered it was the Yellow Flash of 4th Hokage. It can be said that one person ended the 3 battles and left countless high-profile battles. The last master and inventor was 2nd Hokage Senju Tobirama, except for Kai Dun, who is also a man of forbidden technique. Xiao Yuchen has mastered this trick, not to mention invincible. He is indeed invincible. Sure enough, it's the Flying Thunder God technique. Kushina gave me such a smart look. Azuki Yuyan and Yuhihong rushed to Anko immediately. Soon, they found a Zhao on the back of Anko's neck near his arm. They didn't know this character at first, but it was the same as the first character of Xiao Yuchen on the copy of the diary. Not surprisingly, it was Yuchen's surname before time travel. Wipe it off for me, Anko urged. Yuhihong and Azuki Xian immediately followed suit, but they failed until Anko's skin was almost rubbed off. Hong, don't you know how to seal the evil magic seal? Seal it for me. Anko thought of another method. But Shi Hong didn't do it immediately, but said, wait a minute. Not to mention that the seal may not be able to seal the Flying Thunder God mark. If we do this immediately, it will be easy for Yuchen to notice something is wrong. And it is very likely that other situations will arise, so it is better to stabilize first. Anko knew that Kurenai Yuhi was right, so he could only agree. This man is really small-eyed. Anko curled his lips and said. That's why you beat people up for no reason first. Mao Yu Xian said outrageously. Anko made the mistake of pulling her and Yuhihong to pay the bill together. No matter how calm a person is, it is impossible to be emotional. Hey, I know I was wrong, and you also know that I am impulsive. Anko begged for mercy at the speed of light. Regarding the surprise attack on Xiao Yuchen, she was taught by Yue Xian for a long time, and she has already realized her mistake deeply. She even asked Yurihong and Azuki Xian to give advice on how to ask Xiao Yuchen. Who would have thought that this guy would react so quickly and bring this kind of follow-up? I don't think it's a narrow-minded approach. Women are creatures that bleed for 7 days without dying, let alone female ninjas. Do you need a man to make way? Women. A dog's mouth cannot spit out ivory. Blood for 7 days. Hinata didn't know what to think, her pretty face turned red. Mitarashi Anko is still a student of Orochimaru, and is more resistant to beating than ordinary female ninjas. And in my eyes, women can be simply divided into 2 types. Mine, and not mine. My woman, as long as it's not too much, you can spoil her. It's not my woman, I won't be used to it at all, otherwise is it fair to my woman? My woman, why should I be treated the same as other women? Pay attention to the sense of boundaries. Seeing this, the eyes of all the girls lit up. Although Xiao Yuchen is fickle, he is upright and frank. But his attitude towards women made them feel that this man really respected women. However, this incident reminded me that a hot spring must be built in the future, and 6 paths level restrictions must be placed to avoid accidents. It is best to have an exclusive space like Shichu space, which is a must for home travel. Otsutsuki Kagaya. In the first ball space, Otsutsuki Kagaya was expressionless and speechless. The last time Yuya had this kind of emotion was when Yuya was tricked by a stinky toad and joined forces with Hamura to seal him. Swallowing the fruit of the sacred tree, opening the first ball space that can only be opened up by Shuiji's snare, unexpectedly used it for home travel. What kind of weird guy is the Traverser? However, she appreciates Xiao Yuchen's way of dividing women into 2 categories. If Yuya and Hamura knew the difference between closeness and closeness, how could they not be aware of her good intentions, and how could they be easily deceived by the stinky toad? When she breaks the seal and goes out, she will take back the power distributed to the two rebellious sons, let them remake them, and then learn from Xiao Yuchen how to be a good man. Mitarashi Anko is not my woman, of course I am not used to it. It's rare to stay up late, and I'm going to beat him up in the dead of night. Good old 6, it turns out that this is the reason for staying up late. But who would have thought that she was still awake at this time, and was drinking in hot springs with my other 2 wives? Oh who, have you finally entered the real question? The curiosity of the girls climbed to the peak. Azuki Shion and Yuhihong were so nervous that they tightened their legs. Perfect figure. Let me feast my eyes. Here, I want to praise Anko. Peeved. Anko took a sip of his wine, and he laughed a lot. Is this man so realistic? Suddenly he felt a little cute. It's a pity that the time is too short to take pictures with the diary. It's okay to go back and look at it. Passivity is an accident, and initiative is character. As a real man, let them voluntarily take pictures of you as a souvenir when they are capable. Huh. The 3 of you Hahong breathed a sigh of relief. It's a small matter to take pictures, anyway, Xiao Yuchen has already seen it. I'm afraid to upload it to all, good sisters, to see, the society is dead. Anko, for the sake of this wave of benefits, our grievances are wiped out. I hope you won't mess with me again. Bah. Anko breathed a sigh of relief, but pretended to be angry on the surface. I'm not done with you. Yuhihong and Azuki Shion curled their lips, not to mention that you can't beat them at all. With a diary, you don't dare to provoke others. What can you do? Finally, the moonlight is so beautiful tonight. Women. We got our hands in our pants, so you show us this? Will Kaguya's wife look at me like I look at her? This concluding remark frightened the girls. This lecherous guy actually has thoughts about the ancestor of chakra. Does he want to be the father of Sage of 6 Paths? Only the person involved, Otsutsuki Kagaya, didn't think there was anything, but took it for granted. Isn't it natural to submit to the beauty of a concubine? Very good. Yuhihong and Maoyue Shion hugged each other for the rest of their lives after the catastrophe. Xiao Yuchen did not mention them in the diary, but referred to them as his wife, which is really great. A world where only Anko gets hurt is fine. Last of the last. Wife Hong, wife Shion, reluctantly add Anko, hope to meet you again in my dream, good night. Boom. Yuhihong and Azuki Shion who were cheering were dumbfounded. You're the last one, so add the last one, I'm afraid it's not poisonous. Peeved. Anko, who was depressed, laughed out loud, good sisters, we share weal and woe, and we should be together when we lose face. Really? Yuhihong and Shion looked at each other with dangerous smiles. K her. Hey, help. Nothing to say all night. In the morning, Xiao Yuchen opened his eyes before the alarm clock rang. Looking at the huge map drawn on the bedsheet, he fell into deep thought. It's nice to be young, full of vigor. I said casually, I didn't expect that a few wives would really save face, meet me in my dream, and bring the grown-up Hinata wife, Ino wife. However, drawing a map is a real man's trouble. It seems that finding a wife has to be put on the agenda. I don't want to be like Kakashi. After sighing, Xiao Yuchen went into the bathroom. At the same time, several women who also got up early saw the updated content for the first time, and their performance was different. Hinata, for example, has a string of question marks above her head. What is drawing a map? Why embarrass a real man? And why does Xiao Yuchen feel that he must find a wife, and why does he dislike Kakashi? Ino-chan. What is Yuchen-sensei talking about? Hinata asked Ino. Despite being the same age, she feels that Ino is more mature and knowledgeable than her. Hinata, haven't you secretly read the 18 Forbidden? Ino said with a red smile. No. Hinata shook her head hastily. With her family style, she would not touch that kind of thing after the age of 18. Then let me tell you, my mother taught me that girls should understand earlier, that's it. Ino explained something first, and then leaned over to Hinata's ear and began to explain in a low voice. The latter was taken aback for a moment, then his face became redder and hotter. Doesn't that mean that Mr. Yuchen dreams of his grown-up self at night, and then does dirty things? She tried to fantasize about it, only to feel weak and hot all over. Can't. With a strange cry, Hinata fell straight down. Ino quickly supported her with sharp eyesight, and asked doubtfully, did you faint again? Didn't Hinata sauce have enough for breakfast? Hinata, who was still awake at first, passed out completely. Ino had no choice but to carry her on his back, and then walked to Xiao Yuchen's house with the breakfast box. An apartment house in a remote location, but with a clean and quiet environment. Yuhihong Jonin. Anko Jonin. Ino found 2 people standing in front of Xiao Yuchen's house, also holding lunchboxes in their hands. I remember that you were the daughter of Senior Hayi, Ino, right? Kuroyuki greeted Anko with Anko. Yes, I am Yamanaka Ino. As the daughter of Yamanaka Haichi, the patriarch of the Yamanaka clan, Ino knows most of Konoha's bright activities, Naka Jonin, but only acquaintances. This is Hyuga Hinata, right? What's wrong? Hong pointed to Hinata on Ino's back. Ah, this. Rao is Ino's bold personality, and I don't know how to explain it. Can't you just tell the truth that you give the little sister a science popularization 18 bands? This is playing with color. Boom. When Ino was in trouble, the door of the apartment next to him suddenly opened. Xiao Yuchen was wearing mid-pants, shirtless and showing his 8-pack abs. He wiped his wet hair with a towel with one hand and appeared at the door, looking at the 4 girls suspiciously. What are you doing standing in front of my house? Hinata heard Xiao Yuchen's voice and woke up leisurely. But when he saw his image, his neck tilted and he fainted at the speed of light. Everyone. The humble house is simple, please bear with me. Xiao Yuchen took the 4 girls of Yuhihong to the dining table and sat down, then returned to the bathroom to finish washing quickly and put on their shirts. When he returned to the living room, he found that Hinata had woken up, and the atmosphere of the 4 girls getting along was very harmonious, talking and laughing. This is simply a scene in his dream. Could it be that he has sequelae after dreaming? The 4 of you came to see me early in the morning, what's the matter? Xiao Yuchen pulled out the chair and sat down. The eyes of the 4 women came together, seeing his hair still wet, subconsciously thinking of the previous scene. It has to be said that the man in front of him can surpass Konoha no matter in appearance or figure. Guanwei Konoha is basically the top ninja world, no wonder he is narcissistic occasionally. Hinata's face was still flushed, but she was able to control her shyness. She carefully took out a lunchbox from her backpack and put it on the table, saying, "Teacher, thank you for inviting me to lunch yesterday. This is my return gift." "And mine." Ino then took out a copy. "Thank you." Xiao Yuchen responded with a smile, and then looked at Yuhihong Anko. Hinata and Ino's doing this should be due to good family education and family etiquette. But what is the reason for Yuhihong, who has never met before, and Mitarashi Anko, who has had an unhappy time? Could it be that the incident last night was exposed? No, if what happened last night was exposed, he would be greeted by Azuki Shien's siege. Or are they here to test themselves? Can't it be Anko who apologizes? Yamanaka Ino. Hinata, do you think Hong's sister and Anko's sister will fight with Yuchen teacher? Hyuga Hinata. Probably not, it would not be so formal if we wanted to fight. Yamanaka Ino. They were all seen last night, aren't they angry? Hyuga Hinata. Surely you haven't seen much. The 2 on-site snacks secretly communicated with each other using diaries. I'm here to apologize. Yu Hahong took out a lunchbox and put it in front of Xiao Yuchen, stood up and bowed. I'm sorry, I shot you without knowing the situation yesterday. Oh. Xiao Yuchen folded his hands on his chest, raised his legs, and looked carefully. What does it mean that you don't understand the situation? It's my fault. Shi Hahong took the initiative to stand up and explained with a little embarrassment. I was pursued by someone I didn't like recently, and I was a little troubled. I asked Anko to drink a few more words. She asked me who the other party was, and I joked that the person who dared to pursue me was of course the most handsome man in Konoha. I didn't expect her to believe it, and finally found you. I see. Xiao Yuchen smiled. He did not doubt the authenticity of Yu Hihong's explanation. First of all, he couldn't find a reason for Yu Hihong and Anko to spend time and effort to deceive him. Secondly, logically speaking, with Mitarashi Anko's character, he would be cheeky to ignore his mistakes, and he would not use such a direct way to apologize. Instead, he is a person like Yu Hihong. After knowing that he is causing trouble to others, I will indeed apologize. And it is also true that he is Konoha village grass. It can only be said that it is all caused by the high appearance. 4 girls. Is this too easy to deceive, or too confident? Yu Hihong and Anko lamented in their hearts that Azuki Shien is so accurate in seeing people. As long as it comes to appearance, Xiao Yuchen can't believe it. Then let me see your sincerity. Xiao Yuchen opened the lunchbox with a smile. The next moment, his smile froze. What caught the eye was half-baked rice filled with boxes. Half a tomato and a few green vegetables are placed on the rice, 2 sterile eggs are placed in a separate compartment, and a few pieces of obviously burnt pork belly. If he dared to eat these, he might have to travel again every minute. Are you sure this is an impolite rather than continuing to retaliate? Xiao Yuchen asked speechlessly. Ino lowered his head and suppressed a smile. Hinata's eyes were empty to show that I didn't see it. Anko's pretty and heroic face immediately flushed. She knew it would be embarrassing, but she didn't expect Xiao Yuchen to be so embarrassing. Anko, I told you to buy some gifts, but you have to make breakfast yourself to show sincerity, so that's it, Yuhihong said, clutching her forehead. It seems to be scolding Anko, but it is actually telling Anko's sincerity. How could Xiao Yuchen not understand this little thing? This gave him a better understanding of Yuhihong's understanding. He also completely pressed down on Anko's displeasure. Forget it. For the sake of your sincerity, let's pretend that what happened yesterday never happened. Xiao Yuchen stood up, picked up the lunchbox, and walked to the next kitchen. Are you going to pour it out? Anko felt a pain in his chest for some reason. Although she said she didn't do it well, this is the result of a dozen attempts after she didn't sleep all night. Can't have a bite? Throw away the waste, I'll remake it. Xiao Yuchen's slightly casual voice made the four girls look surprised. Does it mean that he will use these ingredients to cook again? Is this possible? Under the watchful eyes of the four women, Xiao Yuchen casually put on an apron, then washed the pot, heated it, put oil in it, and when the temperature was right, he opened and put down 2 sterile eggs, stir-fried them into fine pieces, and then put in the rice. After about 5 minutes, put down the pork belly with the scorched black part removed, as well as the sliced ham I bought from the store. Finally, turn the pan over high heat and stir-fry, and take it out of the pan. This series of actions is done in one go, and it looks like a veteran. The four girls of Kurenai Yuhi were all dumbfounded, and Ino's eyes were staring. This man is so handsome. It was decided that no matter who she would be with in the future, she would choose Teacher Yuchen. There is a lot of breakfast, let's share it. Although Anko's cooking skills are not very good, he made a lot of portions. Xiao Yuchen served a bowl for everyone, and brought Ino and Hinata another point. It's enough for 5 people. Probably? Hinata-chan, are you full? After everyone discs, Xiao Yuchen looked to Hinata. I forgot that there is also a girl who seems to have the least appetite, but is actually the number 1 in the ninja world. Hinata's pretty face flushed slightly, feeling that she was being connoted. For this Teacher Yuchen, why can't she be gentle? Mr. Yuchen, it's so strange, why don't you have sheets on your bed? Hinata asked curiously. Xiao Yuchen's smile froze. The 3 daughters of Yuhihong struggled to hold back their smiles. Ha ha ha, lure. Xiao Yuchen could see it. Although Hinata has a pair of white eyes, but the whole body is cut open, the inside may be dark. He found a random reason to prevaricate. He coughed lightly and said, after breakfast, it's time to go to school. Wait a moment. Hearing Xiao Yuchen's words, Shi Hahong signaled him not to worry, and smiled. Before you go to school, Mr. Yuchen, I have one more thing to talk to you about. This smile is beautiful, but it always gives people a dangerous feeling. Xiao Yuchen became vigilant in his heart and asked, what's the matter? The grievances between you and Anko, are you sure it's over? Yuhihong confirmed. Yeah. Xiao Yuchen nodded. When a man speaks, he spit and nails. Okay. Shi Hahong clapped her hands lightly, and then changed the subject. Then you took advantage of us in the hot spring in the early morning. I don't know how you want to calculate it. Early morning. Hot springs. I don't know what you were talking about. Xiao Yuchen said without changing his expression. I went to bed when I got home last night, and I haven't gone out. Worthy of being an actor, the acting is really like it. If they hadn't seen the truth in the diary, they would have suspected that they had wronged someone. Mr. Yuchen, don't rush to deny it. Yuhihong smiled and said, you may not know, I can perceive technique. When the man in black appeared last night, he immediately caught Chakra's breath. You dare to release it for me, feel it? Xiao Yuchen chose to remain silent. He really knows that Yuhihong can perceive technique, so he is not trying to deceive him. But at that time, he also activated the perception technique, so he was sure that Yuhihong was useless. So she can be sure that she is cheating herself. This doesn't explain anything. Xiao Yuchen said calmly, after all, it's all yours. Shi Hahong was amused, thinking that this stinky man is really stubborn. Mr. Yuchen, you don't need to deny it, we won't do anything to you. Otherwise it would be Xian who came looking for you. Yuhihong said angrily. Anko attacked you yesterday morning, but was attacked early this morning. You have a motive. At that time, my perception also sensed you chakra. If you must quibble, then the flying thunder god imprint you left on Anko's back can't be faked. Xian and I spent a lot of effort to investigate and found out. Saying that, Kurenai Yuhi patted Anko's shoulder a little below. Exactly where Xiao Yuchen left his imprint of flying thunder god. How do you know this is the mark of flying thunder god? Xiao Yuchen frowned. Shi Rihong and the others shouldn't know Zhao Zi. We're asking about the 3 of them, Shiranui Genma, Ju Shetong, and Daiwashi. Yuhihong explained without changing his face. Your appearance and departure are not the effects that can be achieved by body flicker technique, but more like time and space ninja technique. Later, Shi Yan found out that there were strange symbols on Anko's shoulder, and when she thought about how you patted her shoulder during the day, she became even more suspicious of you. Afterwards, we found Shiranui Genma and the others to confirm that this is indeed the Flying Thunder God's spell, but it is different from the 4th generation and 2nd generation, and they cannot replicate it. Speaking of which, I really didn't expect you, Mr. Yuchen, to have mastered the famous stunt for the purpose of the 4th generation. Master 3rd generation values? It's so much, isn't it because of this reason? Don't worry, we won't go out and talk nonsense. Isn't it just acting? Who can't? After pondering for a while, Xiao Yuchen put on plain glasses and asked, I don't know what Yuhi Hong Jonin wants to talk about. He doesn't feel guilty about Anko, but he does take advantage of Yuhi Hong and Azuki Yuyan. As long as they don't ask too much, it's not impossible to agree. But if it is too much, he will flip the table. It's very simple. Yuhi Hong smiled and said, you only need Mr. Yuchen to agree to our 2 requests within your ability. Tell me the story. For me, I just need you to accompany me to meet someone. The time is uncertain, but I guarantee that there will be no danger and it won't take up too much of your time. Do you think it's okay? Shi Hong proposed the compensation she wanted. Yes. Xiao Yuchen readily agreed. Just to meet someone, he has Flying Thunder God technique, be careful not to be calculated. Shi Yan's request is also very simple. Shi Rihong continued. She values your strength and needs you to accompany her to practice in her free time. Do you think it is okay? It's okay. Xiao Yuchen nodded again, and then said, but before I take the initiative to reveal my strength, you are not allowed to speak out, otherwise the agreement will be void. Make a deal. Yuhi Hong agreed very readily. They never exposed Xiao Yuchen's thoughts. As for Anko, everything started because of her, you just need to erase the Flying Thunder God imprint, and everything will be written off. Yuhi Hong continued. In fact, Anko wanted to ask himself the reason for becoming a fat woman in the future. But if you really want to ask this question, Xiao Yuchen will definitely notice that there is something wrong with them. What if Xiao Yuchen guesses that someone can see his diary and doesn't write in the future, or doesn't write seriously? I'm sorry, I can't erase the imprint. Xiao Yuchen spread his hands and said helplessly, once the imprint is planted, it can never be erased, nor can it be sealed. Hearing that, Yu Hahong was not surprised. Before coming here, they had already obtained information from Shiranui Genma. Mentioning this, I just don't want Xiao Yuchen to be suspicious. Then just forget it. Yu Hahong said. No, I want to make a small request, is that okay? Just when Xiao Yuchen felt that Yuhi Hong was very reasonable, Anko suddenly regretted it. Anko. Yuhi Hong frowned. Anko signaled her to rest assured, then stretched out a finger, and begged Xiao Yuchen. It's just a small request. This actually aroused Xiao Yuchen's interest, he chuckled and said, let's hear it. That's right, that. Can I ask you to make me breakfast? Anko pointed at the empty plate in front of him and said with some coyness. Originally, she really wanted to follow Azuki Shien's suggestion and didn't ask for anything. But Xiao Yuchen's egg-fried rice made her think differently. Not just because of the deliciousness, but also because of the feeling of having breakfast together, at home, in the morning. She was born in the Mitarashi family, but her parents died when she was young, and she didn't realize the love of her elders until she became a disciple of Orochimaru. But Orochimaru defected and destroyed this family relationship with her own hands, and allowed her to live a life comparable to Jinchuriki in Konoha for a long time, and was hostile to all kinds of people. That is, after the old monkey said something to her in a high-sounding manner, and with the help of girlfriends like Shi Rihong, her life improved again. But since then, she has become more withdrawn and sensitive and impulsive inside. And this bowl of egg-fried rice, the feeling of eating together made her feel warm after a long time. That's why she didn't follow the plan, breakfast. Hearing the conditions proposed by Anko, the eyes of Yuhi Hong and Hinata Ino suddenly lit up. They usually eat egg bibimbap, but they have never eaten egg-fried rice, and it is far less delicious than Xiao Yuchen's. Xiao Yuchen also wrote in his diary that he is good at cooking, but he doesn't like Konoha cuisine in his words. If they often come here to eat, can they also eat otherworld dishes? What a great idea. If you don't mind, I also want to join, Yuhi Hong said. Me, and me. Ino raised his hand. Hinata felt embarrassed by this. But he didn't want to be special, so he played with his fingers and said, I can eat less. Xiao Yuchen. Let me cook for you. Xiao Yuchen found the unfolding of the story very interesting. In his previous life, he learned cooking purely for the sake of personality. He usually went to high-end restaurants and private restaurants for consumption if he was not short of money. It's just that when you come to the otherworld in this gourmet desert, no one can reach his mark, so you have to do it yourself to be worthy of your own mouth. But that doesn't mean how much he loves cooking. If possible, he would still like to personally train a few cooks to serve him. Thinking of this, Xiao Yuchen looked at Hinata suddenly, his eyes were a little hotter. Isn't this a ready-made high-quality cook reserve? But his eyes misunderstood the maid. Hinata's eyes flashed blackness. I am a big eater, does teacher Yuchen really care so much? Well, I can bear all the materials. Anko added, meaning that Xiao Yuchen doesn't care about money. Orochimaru had left her a lot of money, but Sarutobi Hiruzen also took it away. She has always been a rich woman. Materials are such a small matter. Xiao Yuchen grabbed Hinata's little hand and said with a smile, Hinata, I see that you have a delicate skeleton and are very talented in cooking. Why don't you learn cooking from me? Why? Being grabbed by the hand suddenly, Hinata, who instinctively was about to go into a shutdown state, opened her eyes suddenly. It turned out that teacher Yuchen didn't want to confess his love, but wanted to be that kind of cook for him. If teacher Yuchen thinks I can. Hinata withdrew her hand without refusing. Cooking is a must for a good wife and mother, learning from Xiao Yuchen can only be beneficial. Very good. Xiao Yuchen was in a good mood, and said to Anko, okay, I agree to your request. Marvelous. Anko didn't hide his happiness, and plunged into Yuhihong's arms and rubbed around. This scene was so shocking that it made Xiao Yuchen scream in his heart. Anko. Feeling Yuchen's gaze, Yuhihong's cheeks flushed slightly, and he pulled Anko to stand up and bid farewell. Xiao Yuchen didn't keep them either, but made an appointment with them every morning in the future. Hinata and Ino then bid farewell. The room quickly returned to desertion. Xiao Yuchen restrained his smile, and tapped his fingers rhythmically on the table. Recalling the entire conversation process and making sure there was nothing abnormal, the expression on his face returned to calm. Sweet dreams come true. Wake up early in the morning, Hinata, Ino, Yuhihong and Anko's wives come to treat me to breakfast. Please have breakfast. Terumi, who was sitting on the deck of the ship eating bread, curled her lips. As expected of Konoha female ninjas who have the home court advantage, they started to feel their presence early in the morning. In a short period of time, the reward for the most times the name is mentioned must be competed within Konoha. There are not a few women who have this idea. Including Samui and the Black Earth Girls, they all decided to speed up the speed of going to Konoha. What makes me speechless is that Anko's cooking skills are quite bad, and I had to reprocess it myself to make all 5 of them full. Well, Hinata's wife may not be sure. Crack. In front of the apartment building where Xiao Yuchen lived, Hinata subconsciously crushed the lunchbox in her hand. This stock can't pass, can it? Don't think I won't be angry if you call me wife. Seeing this, the 3 daughters of Yuhihong covered their mouths and smiled lightly. Such a Hinata is quite interesting, but the next moment, the expressions of the 4 girls changed. Afterwards, something happened that surprised me. The sneak attack that I thought was seamless in the early morning was actually seen through by Azuki Shion and the others. Yuhihong and Anko even came to Xingshi to ask their crimes. I want to say that these 3 women will not do it. What a shame for the detective. Pooh. Many women laughed. Although they don't know what a famous detective is, they can imagine contacting the full text. This man is not a detective, he is cheating on you to bully you. Fortunately, Mrs. Hong is very reasonable, saying that they each made a small request to be even with me. After all, I didn't take the initiative to take advantage of them this time, and it was just a feast for the eyes. It is necessary to mention it here. The protruding part of the red wife is the most prominent, and the proportion of the Shion wife is the best. She is indeed a woman who practices swords. Anko. Forget it. Forget it. Feeling the teasing gazes of the 3 daughters of Yuhihong, Anko immediately turned red and argued, can you make a good review? Those who don't know think I'm worse than Hong and Shion. Hong was a little speechless. People really want to comment on you in detail. Are you afraid that you will go back and fight with them? Probably not. Yuhihong tightened her shirt. This is an excellence that has been certified by men. This guy. Near Hokage's office, Azuki Yugo, who was shifted to guard duty, shook her head. This time it was regarded as a complete death, and for a long time to come, those women who had diaries would mention it when they saw her. Shion's wife's request is that when both parties have free time, I need to accompany her to practice. I can easily learn Konoha Ryu swordsmanship with Shadow Clone, plus inheriting White Fang's top abilities. This requirement is very simple for me. The Red Wife asked me to accompany her to meet someone. My father-in-law died in the Nine Tails Rebellion. Who else would she let me meet? Is it as a shield to reject Sarutobi Asuma, or Kuruma Yukumo? Shield? Yu Hahong smiled lightly and shook her head. I won't do such a boring thing. Using Xiao Yuchen as a shield will definitely cause him to be hated by Sarutobi Asuma, and even Sarutobi Hiruzen will attack him. Not to mention that she can't do this kind of thing that involves others, if it really happened to her and Xiao Yuchen. On the contrary, she wants to work hard to protect him. However, she really knows about Yakumo. In Satomi Hill's villa, Kuruma Yakumo sat alone on the edge of the cliff with his hands folded, his expression beaming with joy. She is very happy that Yuhihong is still that good teacher, and she has her things in mind. She is happier that Xiao Yuchen knows her and is looking forward to seeing him too. My lord, come quickly. Kuruma Yakumo's pale face flushed sickly. Anko didn't plan to make a request at the beginning, but just wanted me to erase the Flying Thunder God spell left on her body, but unfortunately I really can't do this for the time being. I remember that 12 years ago, Uchiha Obito released 9 tails to attack Konoha, and when he fought against Namikaze Minato, he was marked with the Flying Thunder God spell, which was not erased until he became 10 tails Jinchuriki at the end of the Fourth World War. If you want to erase the Flying Thunder God technique, you must have at least 6 paths level strength, or even become a 10 tails Jinchuriki. As soon as this remark came out, the faces of all the women holding copies of the diary changed. This is a lot of information. Nobody cares about Xiao Yuchen's mention of the indelible imprint of Flying Thunder God. They focused on terms such as 4 wars, Uchiha Obito released 9 tails to destroy Konoha, and 10 tails Jinchuriki. One thing is certain from here, the founder of the 9 Tails Rebellion, who was famous in the ninja world, caused Konoha to suffer heavy losses, and the Yellow Flash 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato fell at a young age was Uchiha Obito. I seem to have heard this name somewhere. 10 tails Jinchuriki. Xiao Yuchen mentioned that Otsutsuki Kagaya and Sage of 6 Paths became 10 tails Jinchuriki. Uchiha Obito finally became 10 tails Jinchuriki. Will the outbreak of the Fourth World War, and even Naruto and Sasuke become the saviors, have something to do with him? In the Land of Thunder, Samui immediately contacted Cloud Shinobi Village using secret methods to ask for information about Uchiha Obito. In the Land of Earth, Black Earth also made the same decision. In the Land of Water, killing intent appeared in Terumi Mei's eyes. Uchiha Obito. If you can release 9 tails to destroy Konoha, you will naturally have the ability to control 3 tails and even 3 tails Jinchuriki. Could it be that Uchiha who controls Lord 4th Mizukage is him? Terumi Mei thinks her guess is very likely. After pondering for a while, she immediately found the accompanying ninjas and asked them to return to the village to send all the information about Uchiha Obito. No one knows when Xiao Yuchen will mention Uchiha Obito in detail. Before that, she needs to investigate in her own way in order to have enough information to prepare in advance. Shua. On the border between the Land of Fire and the Land of Rain, Conan wearing a red cloud black robe stood on top of a certain tree and suddenly opened his eyes. Uchiha Obito, is that his real identity? In their Akatsuki organization, there is a second Uchiha besides Uchiha Itachi. The man called himself Uchiha Madara, and was badly injured in the battle with Senju Hashirama, so his strength was impaired. She and Uzumaki Nagato have been skeptical, but not against the man joining. After all, seriously speaking, everyone in their organization has problems. Nagato, with Rinnegan, has the confidence to overwhelm everyone. As long as everyone is willing to work hard for the goal of capturing the 9-tailed beasts, and finally achieve the great cause of nuclear peace, after making the world feel pain, it doesn't matter if they have their own little ideas. Conan thinks the same way, more cautiously at best. But now, her heart was completely shaken. She and Nagato only knew that the Ghetto statue could devour the 9-tailed beasts, and finally turned into a weapon that could overwhelm the entire ninja world, but they never knew that this weapon was 10 tails, and humans could also become 10 tails Jinchuriki. And the diary clearly states that Uchiha Obito will become 10 tails Jinchuriki. Why not Nagato? It could only be that he has fallen. God, dead. Otsutsuki Kagaya, 10 tails Jinchuriki, Sage of 6 Paths Otsutsuki Yuya, Indra descendant Uchiha, Black Zetsu planned to save mother. Connecting all the information, Conan only felt that he was in some bottomless conspiracy Uzumaki, and it became difficult to breathe. No, Nagato cannot be left alone. Now he is too confident, and his shortcomings are very obvious, and he is easy to be calculated. I have to remind him first, be careful. Taking a deep breath, Conan Jian split out a paper clone and let it go to Konoha instead. I just want Xiao Yuchen to mention himself more than 10 times in his diary, and even reveal some information related to himself. Solve the issue of Nagato's life safety as soon as possible, and my deity will still go to Konoha. Looking at the back of the clone leaving, Conan's eyes became very serious. The more she knew, the more she realized that neither Nagato nor Yahiko's methods could bring true peace to the ninja world. But she believed that Xiao Yuchen, the Traverser, definitely knew the way. To be ideal, she must come to him in person. Shua. After looking in the direction of Konoha for a long time, Conan waved his paper wings, turned around and flew back into the land of rain. After her figure disappeared, a space Uzumaki appeared at the top of the big tree, and a man in red cloud and black robe with a one-eyed mask walked out of it. At this person's feet, Ju got out from the branch, and asked doubtfully, did she notice something? You shouldn't ask me this question. The one-eyed masked man said coldly, you can tell me now, why do you have to get rid of the white tiger? If Conan is dead, it will be difficult to deal with Uzumaki Nagato. She didn't know where she knew about infinite Tsukuyomi, said Ju with some concealment. She couldn't even tell Uchiha Madara the name Otsutsuki Kagaya, let alone Madara's toolman Obito. What does it matter if you know? Obito said impatiently, with Nagato's character, maybe he will support him even more. No. Ju said firmly. Master Madara said that Project Tsuki no Mi must be launched by him, and I will carry out his will. Don't forget this, Obito. HMPH. Obito said coldly, that's not in a hurry, I'm at a critical moment of recovery. Since he has been using Mangekyo Sharingan to control 4th Mizukage Yagura to make troubles, his chakra consumption is huge, and even half of his body is transplanted with Hashirama cells. Now he is recovering, and the control of his body is handed over to White Zetsu, codenamed Fei. Because he said that this operation was very important, he regained control of his body, and he didn't expect to make a trip in vain. How can you not be in a hurry? This matter involves mother. Ju wanted to grab Obito's neck and growl fiercely, but on the surface there was a sorry expression on his face, and he said, understood, I will find you again when I find the perfect time. Obito didn't speak, and went straight into the Kamui space. Black Zetsu's expression suddenly became cold, I will tell you some heartfelt words when I rescue my mother. Within the Kamui space, Uchiha Obito doesn't know what Ju thinks. He came to a specially arranged ice cave, walked slowly into the depths, and came to an ice coffin. Inside the ice coffin was a girl with short brown hair, wearing a light pink skirt, dark red knee socks on her lower body, a red bracelet on her hand, and 2 purple patterns on both sides of her cheeks. There was a big bloody hole in the girl's chest, and there was a bloodstain on the corner of her mouth, but there was a gratified smile on her face. When he was the tail of a crane when he was young, he was despised by his peers and bullied by his classmates. Only the girl in front of him would comfort him and encourage him to work hard. Even though the girl yearns for the handsome and talented Kakashi just like her peers, she treats everyone fairly. In his eyes, a girl is an angel and an incarnation in the world, sacred and inviolable, not comparable to that ridiculous self-proclaimed white tiger. This girl is Nohara Rin. He stole the body from the Konoha cemetery, and it has been frozen here to support him to complete the plan. White Zetsu, I entrust my body to you, I want to cultivate. After being in a daze for an unknown amount of time, Obito walked out of the freezer and sat down cross-legged. The next moment, his temperament changed and he became careless. How should I study the meaning of defecation today? At the same time, in a space between reality and reality, in the light and junction. Nohara Lin looked at the masked man quietly, with anticipation in her eyes that hadn't changed for a long time. She didn't know where it was, and she didn't know why she was here. She only knew that after her death, her soul did not go to the Pure Land, but stayed near the corpse. Until Uchiha Obito stole her body and put it in the ice cellar, her eyes followed Obito to see the world again. She has been silently watching Obito, knowing everything he does. He controlled the 4th Mizukage, turned Kirigakure into a more terrifying place of blood mist, and massacred blood ninjas. He released 9 tails on the night when his teacher's mother Kushina gave birth, and let 9 tails ravage Konoha, eventually resulting in the death of both his teacher and his mother. He is still secretly stimulating Uchiha Itachi, making Uchiha Itachi more and more close to Konoha's senior management, and decides to take action against the Hawks and their families of the Uchiha clan, but he did not fulfill his promise to help. There was 3 Tomo Sharingan's Dove Uchiha shot and snatched the eye. Obito has done too many things in order to become strong enough to finally have enough strength for the infinite Tsukuyomi project. During this process, she was sad, angry, scolded, and helpless. But in the end everything calmed down over time. She felt that Obito was right in saying that everything is the world's fault. She felt that Uchiha, Master and Mother, and even Kakashi could all blame Obito, but she couldn't. Because Obito became so extreme, all because of her. She also didn't expect that Obito would have such deep affection just out of kindness. If she had known, she would have made it clear even if it would upset Obito. Up to now, she can only fulfill her childhood promise and keep looking at him. Intel, the appearance of a copy of Xiao Yuchen's diary. New colors appeared in the world, and she knew many things that she had never seen with her own eyes. She has been looking forward to Xiao Yuchen mentioning Uchiha Obito. It is best to tell all the truth so that he can be stopped earlier. Obito, it must be painful. Mr. Yuchen, work harder, please help him to escape. Nohara Lin's smile was still gentle. Meanwhile, on the border of the Fire Nation, on the way to Konoha village. Sitting in a carriage, Tsunade sneered and said, "Sure enough, the fourth ninja war broke out in the ninja world. It seems that Uchiha started it. If Grandpa knows this, I don't know how to feel. It is said that the people of Uchiha would do such a thing. It would not be because of the aftereffects of the old monkey's extermination of the Uchiha family." Shizune listened to Tsunade's unscrupulous speech. Although he agreed with it in his heart, he didn't speak up. It's one thing to bash Hokage badly, mainly because she finds the name Uchiha Obito somewhat familiar. Ah, I remembered. Shizune tightened his neck and suddenly exclaimed, "Uchiha Obito is my former classmate, and later a disciple of 4th Hokage, and became teammates with Lin and Kakashi." No wonder Shizune couldn't remember all of a sudden. She is in the same class as Obito, Kakashi, Rin Nohara, Kuroyuki, Sarutobi Asuma, and Might Guy. As a girl, everyone focused on Kakashi at the time, and no one cared about the tail of the crane except for the gentle Lin. After graduating, she was accepted as an apprentice by Tsunade, who suffered from blood phobia at the end of World War E, and has been working in the ninja school and practicing medical ninjutsu. In the middle of the third ninja world, Namikaze Minato shocked the ninja world, and after Konoha's victory was decided, she followed Tsunade to leave Konoha and began to travel in the ninja world. During this period, neither Lin nor the fourth-generation couple attended the funeral. So for Uchiha Obito, she really didn't remember it all at once. "What did you say?" It was Tsunade's turn to be surprised, and he said in shock, "You said this Uchiha Obito is your classmate, Namikaze Minato's disciple? Doesn't that mean that Uchiha Obito was only 14 years old when he started the Nine Tails Rebellion? The Uchiha family actually produced such a pervert. Moreover, if a disciple kills his master and his mother, what kind of hatred is there? If it's not the same name, it must be true." Shizune nodded affirmatively and told what he knew. Tsunade fell silent for a moment. After a while, he said, "The person who is the most angry right now must be Kushina." What Tsunade said was right. In the sealed space, after a long period of sluggishness, Kushina fell into a monstrous rage. "Obito. The masked man is actually Obito. I treat you like a son. I cried so sad after you died. It was the first time I got angry with Minato and blamed him for not being there in time. But you were mercilessly killing me. Release 9 tails, to kill my child Naruto. A bunch of detonators." "Okay, that's great." The intense anger made Kushina nearly lose his mind. This truth made her feel that she had fed all her heart to the dogs. 9 Tails was in a sewer, and 9 Tails, who was in a cage, felt a strange movement and suddenly opened his eyes. This emotion, this feeling, as Kushina. Is there something wrong with the seal of the 4th generation's purpose? In the prison, 9 Tails had a guess in his mind, and immediately showed an excited smile. Uzumaki Naruto doesn't know what's going on. Even though he has encountered so many injustices since he was a child, negative emotions can always fade away soon after they breed. It can't do it even if it wants to attract people into the spiritual world. Fortunately, the 8-sign seal has begun to loosen in recent years, and it has been able to actively infiltrate some chakra for guidance. I believe it won't be long before Uzumaki Naruto will break the seal under its persuasion. Fox's confident face. But I didn't expect that before that. I could sense Kushina full of negative emotions chakra. Can't this lead to a wave? Maybe the seal can be opened in advance. 9 Tails decisively followed the network cable. It was chakra, trying to find Kushina. At this time, a figure appeared in front of Kushina with a sunny smile on his face. "Kushina." The tone was very gentle. Kushina trembled, and then turned around slowly. When she saw the other person's face clearly, she was shocked and slowly clenched her fists. "Kushina." The man stepped forward and opened his hands. But what greeted him was a continuously enlarged fist. Boom. With a punch in the abdomen, the man backed up several times, and the body almost disappeared on the spot. "Minato, stay away from me, I get angry when I see you now," Kushina said angrily. Kushina was not too surprised to meet Namikaze Minato. To put it bluntly, the 8-sign seal is an energy conversion center. 9 Tails chakra is extracted by this center, converted into normal chakra to charge her and Namikaze Minato's chakra, and can also be transformed into Naruto's chakra. And after Naruto chakra enters this center, it will increase the power of sealing and transformation. Now she has the magical blessing of infinite energy. Naruto, Nine Tails, Namikaze Minato chakra, can also follow suit. Of course, as long as she takes the initiative to turn off the state of magic blessing, Namikaze Minato will have to disappear. What's wrong with you? Namikaze Minato remained obedient. Do you know who the masked man who killed us was? Kushina asked with her hair flying. Isn't it Uchiha Madara? Namikaze Minato wondered. Regarding the mask claiming to be Uchiha Madara, he didn't say he fully believed it, but he also believed it 80%. He has the legendary Mangekyo Sharingan, but there is only one. With the ability of time and space, he can imagine the battle between Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama. After the defeat, he was seriously injured but managed to escape and hide. But even Uchiha Madara, who is so old and one-eyed, can already bring him pressure, which shows that the ninja Shura is well deserved. There is also the opponent who can summoning Nine Tails, and has hatred for Konoha. In general, Uchiha Madara is the most suspected. Uchiha Madara. Kushina gave a strange laugh and said coldly, he is not Uchiha Madara, but your good apprentice, Uchiha Obito. Impossible. Namikaze Minato restrained his smile, and instinctively retorted. It is absolutely impossible to be Obito, not to mention that Lin and Kakashi saw Obito die in battle with their own eyes. Even if he was still alive, how could he be so strong? And what reason does he have to attack you, me, and Konoha? Saying that the masked man is Uchiha Obito is impossible from any point of view. Really? Kushina sneered. What Namikaze Minato said was the reason why she was in a daze in confusion. But now, she has completely figured it out. Masked man's Mangekyo Sharingan is on the right, and Kakashi has Obito's Sharingan on the left. Also, Uchiha Madara's body was brought back to Konoha by the first generation, and buried by the second generation. Could he hide it from the two Hokages? I heard Makoto say that the shortcut to opening the eyes of Sharingan is strong emotional stimulation. I believe Mangekyo Sharingan is the same. I remember that Obito liked Lin very much, but Lin was voluntarily killed by Kakashi. You told me that when you rushed to the scene to rescue Rin, dozens of Jonin in Kirigakure were dead. Kakashi was in a coma, and he didn't remember what happened afterwards, so is it possible that Obito happened to be on the scene at that time? Maybe he wants to kill all the people he cherishes just for the sake of power. Kushina's IQ will be off the charts. Except for not guessing the reason for Obito's murder, everything else is right. Namikaze Minato was also speechless, and said after a long while, let's not talk about the masked man. What's going on with you now? He still couldn't believe that Obito would do such a thing, and felt that there must be something else hidden. Compared to this, he is more curious about why Kushina can appear for a long time without consuming chakra. Even with him, he can come temporarily from Shinigami's stomach. Why did Kushina suddenly think about the masked man? As soon as Kushina wanted to talk about the diary, she felt a chill enveloped her. She realized instantly that as long as she dared to speak, her soul would be broken. So she changed her words directly, no comment. Also, I don't want to see you now. After finishing speaking, Kushina directly cut off the infinite energy state blessed by the magic blessing. She has already vaguely guessed that Naruto's childhood was not very good, and Xiao Yuchen's evaluation of Jiraiya and the exposure of Uchiha Obito made her feel that Namikaze Minato's master and disciple were not good. She was already in a bad mood, and adding a little bit of anger made her think Namikaze Minato was not pleasing to her eyes. Fortunately, don't see you. 9. Namikaze Minato was about to say something, but he felt a suction force that he couldn't resist, bringing him back into Shinigami's stomach, syncing with the Nine Tails. At this time, a voice sounded in this space. Kushina. Anger? Want power? As an old friend, I can lend you my strength. Following the chakra fluctuations, Nine Tails finally found Kushina in the chakra spiritual space. Its voice is full of bewitchment, spreading along the chakra, with a special magic. Nine Tails. Kushina looked at Nine Tails and suddenly smiled. You came just in time. Swish. Several chains flew out from behind Kushina, binding Nine Tails into a dumpling. Afterwards, she began to perform all kinds of ninjutsu and greeted mercilessly. Nine Tails. I'm so stupid, really. Xiao Yuchen didn't know all the changes caused by a random stroke. At this point he wrote some last words in his diary. It's just that there is one thing that makes me very strange. Anko and Mrs. Hong talked about this with me, and they didn't shy away from Hinata and Ino. Aren't they afraid of death? Or, Hinata and Ino knew about this a long time ago, so they didn't shy away from it. As soon as this remark came out, all the women holding a copy of the diary subconsciously became nervous. Did he find it tricky? Looking at the performance of Hinata and Ino at the time, they should have known about this for a long time, so Karin, Yuhi or Anko told them in advance. This way of thinking should be fine, otherwise they wouldn't have come to me together as four, so it seems that they have a pretty good relationship with each other. Although there are not many performances in the anime, this is the real world. Anko is a disciple of Orochimaru and was born in the Mitarashi family. Kuranaya Yuhi is Jonin of the Grandmaster Illusion. Hinata and Ino are from the Hyuga and Yamanaka clan respectively. Konoha village is not big. It makes sense that they've known each other or even been friends. Maybe Ino and Hinata became disciples of Asuma and Yuhihong respectively, and part of the reason for their good relationship is also in it. However, third generation is calculating this, so it must not run away, old monkey. As I write this, there has been no new content in the diary for a long time. The girls immediately breathed a sigh of relief, knowing that Xiao Yuchen was not really suspicious, and found logic to round things up. In a short time, they don't have to worry that he will guess that the contents of the diary are visible to others. But this also made them alert, and they should be more cautious in front of Xiao Yuchen in the future. This person is very observant and can always find some details that are wrong. Almost exposed. Anko looked lucky. Yuhihong looked at Ino and Hinata, smiled and said, "It seems that we need to spend some time getting to know each other, so as not to reveal ourselves in front of Xiao Yuchen in the future. Then wait for the lunch break at noon, and I'll treat my two sisters to dessert." Ino put his arms around Hinata's shoulders. "You are still students, let me invite you." Anko looked rich and powerful. Ino and Hinata heard the words, but they didn't refuse. At this time, Yuhihong suddenly asked Hinata, "Hinata, can you tell me what the reward you got at 0 points? This. Hinata struggled with how to answer. "Don't get me wrong. I don't want to explore your secrets, I just want to know whether the diary is really that powerful, and how much gold is in the things it gives." People hate it, but she has reasons to ask. It is urgent to solve the problem of Karama Yukumo. But she felt that Xiao Yuchen seemed to favor Hinata Ino, and it was difficult for her to be the one whose name was mentioned the most times, and it was also difficult for Anko and Azuki Shien. This meant that it was impossible for her to know the specific information of the reward in a short time. If the rewards given by the diary are really good, when the news spreads, the competition will also increase. So she wanted to know more about the rewards earlier, and decide whether to show off her presence in front of Xiao Yuchen as much as possible while there were not many people competing for the spot. Shua. Ino and Anko also cast curious glances at Hinata. The rewards mentioned in the diary include blood succession boundary, secret ninjutsu, resurrection, etc. Everything can make waves in the ninja world. They are also curious about authenticity. This diary is really powerful. It's not impossible to say the rewards I got. Hinata took a deep breath, clasped his hands together on his waist, then fixed his gaze, and Muji rolled his eyes. She then gathers the chakra into her hands to transform into a mass of gentle fist chakra, which she morphs into 2 ferocious lion heads. Wow, that's amazing. Sensing the change in Hinata's momentum, Ino couldn't help but exclaim. She felt that one blow from those 2 lion heads could kill herself. Compared with Ino, Yuhihong and Anko are more shocked, just because they know the goods. Hinata. Kuranaya Yuhi swallowed her saliva, and confirmed. "This is your Hyuga family's Rubu double lion fist?" "Yes, Sister Hong." Hinata removed the lion's head and wiped the sweat from his forehead. In terms of technical experience, she can already perform the soft step double lion fist, but her own chakra is still too small to last for a long time. Hiss. Kuranaya Yuhi and Anko, who got an affirmative answer, gasped. Seeing them like this, Ino immediately asked, "Sister Hong, Sister Anko, is this Rubu Shuangshikuan very powerful?" "It's not just a matter of being strong or not." Shi Hahong tried to calm down and asked, "Do you know what the Rubu double lion fist represents?" Ino shook her head slightly, of course she didn't know this. Rubu double lion fist is a family-inherited physical art of the Hyuga family, and it is a high-level secret art that only members of the family can practice. It needs to meet many prerequisites, such as. Yuhihong popularized some superficial knowledge for Ino, and then concluded, simply speaking, the Rubu double lion fist means that Hinata already has the strength to fight Jonin. Hearing this, Ino's eyes widened. Hinata hasn't even graduated yet, and one reward gives her Jonin's level of strength. That's right. Yuhihong nodded. In fact, Hinata is only at this age to have the strength to fight against Jonin, she is not so gaff. After all, her former classmate Hitaki Kakashi, as well as Uchiha Itachi, who exterminated the clan at the age of 13, have even more exaggerated resumes. They have a ninja level that matches their strength, not just the power to fight. But Hinata has all these not because of talent or hard work, but because of a reward. And it still has the method of body art, which takes the most time to accumulate. Too exaggerated. Ino opened his mouth slightly. After a long while, she showed fiery eyes. It's decided. I will walk around in front of teacher Yuchen more and get a diary reward. If she can also learn the ninjutsu that she will master in the future like Hinata in advance, and even have the blood succession limit, wouldn't it be a step up to the sky? It just so happens that she is very interested in Xiao Yuchen, so let's launch a fierce attack. Looking at Ino's appearance, Yuhihong suddenly felt that she should not explain so clearly. Isn't this adding competitors to yourself? At this time, she heard Anko suddenly hold his chin and think, what materials should I buy tomorrow morning? Why don't you come tonight and ask Mr. Yuchen for his opinion? Are you here for advice? I'm too lazy to expose you. Shi Hahong was speechless for a while, snapped. Anko clapped his hands and suddenly said, no, why do I only eat breakfast? I can also have dinner with Mr. Yuchen, but he doesn't seem to like cooking. Speaking of this, Anko suddenly looked at Hinata, leaned over and asked, Sister Hinata, I think it is not enough to cook breakfast every day if you want to practice cooking well. What do you think? Hinata blinked, and said with a small voice, I think sister, you were right. Okay. Anko said immediately. Then we come together every night, what do you think? Ah. Hinata nodded. Evening read. Okay, it's all rolled up. Then, each according to his own ability. The four girls of Yuhihong soon separated. Those who perform tasks, and those who go to school go to school. Time flies, and it is evening in a blink of an eye, and the setting sun dyes the sky orange. On the roof of the ninja school, Xiao Yuchen, who had been lying on the salty fish for a day, slowly opened his eyes and murmured softly, it should be almost time. The next moment, he felt that many more pictures appeared in his mind. Its three shadow clone practicing Rasengan's memory for a day in a hideaway outside Konoha village, by Jiraiya teaching Naruto the clumsy way of playing with balloons. Although the method is stupid, it is practical, and I am not stupid. The perception technique was activated, and after confirming that no one was watching Fang Yuan 100 meters away, Xiao Yuchen stretched out his left hand. Gather chakra in the palm of your hand, sustain, stabilize, materialize, maintain, and become a small typhoon. The high-speed rotating blue energy ball appeared in his hand. It is the Rasengan that Namikaze Minato spent 3 years researching. Today was another fulfilling day. Removing Rasengan casually, Xiao Yuchen patted his ass and stood up, then jumped off the balcony directly. If you don't use extraordinary power, you are no different from a fool. Falling firmly to the ground, he walked towards the teacher's office. You have to sign in before you leave, otherwise the unscrupulous third-generation project will find an excuse to deduct your salary. If you have to go to work after time travel, when will the workers stand up? Xiao Yuchen, who is rich in heart, returned to the office. Just as he was waiting for the school bell to ring, the office door was suddenly pushed open forcefully. Mitarashi Anko walked into the office unscrupulously, came straight to Xiao Yuchen, and asked expectantly, Mr. Yuchen, what dishes do you want to eat tonight and tomorrow morning? Tell me the list, and I'll go buy it. Swish. Xiao Yuchen instantly became the focus of the scene. The eyes of the male teachers were full of envy and hatred. Although Mitarashi Anko is impulsive and has a bit of a pungent personality, but she is not low in appearance, hot in figure, not bad in strength, and is a rich woman who is good at playing snakes. There are actually not a few people who have a crush on her. But looking at the current situation, she seems to have been taken down by Xiao Yuchen. Otherwise, with her personality, how could she offer to buy vegetables for dinner and breakfast? Obviously she was fighting with Xiao Yuchen yesterday, why was she taken down? Shaking and cold, can Shuai do whatever he wants? Xiao Yuchen doesn't know what these people are thinking. Otherwise he would definitely tell them that handsome guy can do whatever he wants, and you can't experience the happiness of a certain Lu reader. Would you like to buy these? Xiao Yuchen wrote down a list and handed it to Anko, casually said, if you can't buy it, go to the Hokage building to issue a mission, and find someone to look for in the nearby mountains or other countries. He decided to gather all the seasonings and favorite dishes. Okay. Seeing that Xiao Yuchen didn't reject his cryptic dinner application, Anko smiled happily, turned around and left with the list, really coming and going in a hurry. Wow. As soon as Anko left, a group of teachers surrounded him. Mr. Yuchen, do you smoke? Mr. Yuchen, is there a cavitation hot spring tonight? Teacher Yuchen, I know a good tavern, are you interested in trying it? Mr. Yuchen, I'm a straightforward person who likes to spend money. Do you think I can buy you the secret of picking up girls? A group of male teachers are showing their courtesy, all wanting to ask for advice on how to pick up girls. Xiao Yuchen let out a long sigh, and said helplessly, teachers, it's not that I hide my secrets. I also want the benefits you give me. It's a pity that you can't learn my methods. If you don't tell me, how do you know we can't learn it? Some teachers objected. Xiao Yuchen didn't answer, but picked up the small mirror on the desk of a female ninja teacher next to him, asked everyone to take a look, and then pointed to his face and asked, "Are you okay?" In an instant, everyone understood that this kid was saying that they were not good looking. F***ku. All the male teachers laughed and cursed. At this time, a purple-haired Anbu suddenly appeared on the office window. "Mr. Yuchen, Lord Hokage summoned you." "Yes, I'll go right away." Xiao Yuchen suddenly became energetic. The corners of Azuki Shien's mouth hidden under the mask twitched slightly. If Xiao Yuchen hadn't scolded the shameless old monkey and the idiot Danzo in his diary at the end of the day, she would have believed in his acting skills. "Please follow me closely." Maoyue Shien jumped off the windowsill and motioned for Xiao Yuchen to follow. She also wanted to show her presence in front of Xiao Yuchen more, so naturally she wouldn't be foolish enough to leave first. The two rushed towards the Hokage building one after the other. Xiao Yuchen looked at Azuki Shien's back and couldn't help sighing in his heart. Shi Yan's wife has a great figure, it's a pity that she will die alone, so let me do it. "What did you say?" Azuki Shien turned her head abruptly. "Ah?" Xiao Yuchen was taken aback for a moment, and asked back, "Did I say anything?" "You said so. You said I would die alone. I have so many suitors, how could I die alone in the end?" "Wait, it's not impossible, after all, my vision is really high. Even Moonlight Gale, who has Shuiji boundary through dungeon, who will be a senior licking dog for me, and who has a common language, is still in the investigation stage. But now, I'm sure I won't die alone." Thinking of this, Azuki Shien glared at Xiao Yuchen and said, "I said, take care of your eyes. You took advantage of me in the early morning, but it hasn't been revealed yet." "Morning? Oh, so you are Azuki Shien that Shi Hahong said." Xiao Yuchen looked stunned. The corner of Azuki Shien's mouth twitched again. "You do not know me? I'm afraid you know me better than I do. I am Maoyue Shien, and I will come to you to practice when I have time. If you are too weak, you might die by my knife." Azuki Shien has always been confident in her ability to control her emotions, but after Xiao Yuchen appeared, she repeatedly failed. This man really has a strange magic power. Like now, she'd say it with the threat that it wouldn't happen. "Senior Shien, please be merciful." Xiao Yuchen speeded up and stood shoulder to shoulder with Yue Shien, and said with a smile, "Actually, I can take responsibility." "Responsible?" Azuki Shien said lightly. "If you want to be my man, the Prime Minister's appearance must not make me hate him. Secondly, he must not be too different in age from me, and then he must be able to defeat me and have sword skills not weaker than mine. You have no problem with the first 2 points, but if you want to beat me, can you?" "Men can't say no. Is there such a good thing?" Xiao Yuchen smiled suddenly, and said with great interest. "There is a small forest next to it, we can go there to make an appointment right now. What are you doing?" Azuki Shien. "Is your appointment serious?" "I will never show mercy," Xiao Yuchen said seriously. Seeing this, Azuki Shien realized that she was thinking too much, and her cheeks turned red. That is to say, there is a mask to cover it, otherwise Xiao Yuchen could be dumbfounded by this rare gesture. "I think it's crooked, it must be because Anko often tells me about the 18 prohibition. Never because I was expecting anything." Azuki Shien found the truth in an instant. On the other side, Anko who just arrived at the market sneezed. "Could it be that Mr. Yuchen mentioned me in the diary?" Anko excitedly opened the diary, only to see that the content on it had been updated. "Goddess Azuki, there really are things like falling from the sky in this world. I was thinking of quickly solving the problem of being single, and Shi Yan took the initiative to send it to my door, saying that she recognized my appearance and age difference, and as long as I could beat her, I would be responsible for her. My current chakra is 3 times that of Kakashi 3 years later, and I have mastered Flying Thunder God technique, Shuriken Shadow Clone technique, Rasengan, Hitaki Sakumo's Peak Body Flicker technique, Stealth technique, Shot Speed, and I can win every minute." Shien wife. "Isn't the first wife in the ninja world coming soon?" Anko, I decided to completely forgive you, you did a great deed. Shi Yan, you, the 6th child, look serious, but you end up with such a deep routine. Mitarashi Anko was angry. Azuki Shien is really powerful, 5 years younger than Yuhihong, and 2 years younger than her, but she became the first Jonin and joined Anbu, but she has not yet reached the level of elite Jonin. What about Xiao Yuchen? Although I don't know where he learned Rasengan, other abilities are not a secret. The combination of part Yellow Flash and part Wood Yi Bai Tooth, the overall strength is not weak among cage-level ninjas. Azuki Shien obviously couldn't be Xiao Yuchen's opponent, but she ran to say, "As long as you can beat me, I will let you take responsibility. What does it have to do with Baiga?" Routine is a routine. This bestie is amazing. The first ninja wife. Kuruma Yukumo, who loves the diary, wants to see the content faster. All she cares about is the title of Ninja World's First Wife. This, absolutely not allowed. Kurama Yukumo felt that he needed to do something. It turns out that this is what a card chakra means. In the cracks in the space, Nohara Lin laughed like a silver bell. Her focus is on the sentence, the amount of chakra is 3 times that of Kakashi 3 years later. Combined with what Xiao Yuchen wrote before, it is easy to draw the conclusion that 1 card chakra means the amount of Kakashi chakra after 3 years. I haven't seen Kakashi for more than 10 years, is Kakashi now a unit of measurement for Ninja Carla? If we meet again in the future, we must ask him. How interesting. The other women also reacted differently when they saw these contents. After seeing the contents of the diary, I was a little dumbfounded and maddened. To be honest, what she said just now was out of self-confidence and her inherent impression of Xiao Yuchen. But after seeing what was written in the diary, she suddenly realized that she was no different from Bai Ji. Yuhihong and the others are probably laughing at her, right? As Anbu, I can't move freely during working hours. If you want to fight me, you have to wait until I'm free. Azuki Shion immediately found an excuse to prevaricate, and added, it's not enough to defeat me, you have to have a swordsmanship that I recognize. Then we'll make a deal. Xiao Yuchen readily agreed. It's nothing more than the swordsmanship of the ninja world. With his current foundation, he doesn't need a diary reward, and he can catch up with Azuki Yuyan by practicing with Shadow Clone, or even surpass it. Stronger than her, she must be recognized, right? Azuki Shion didn't speak anymore, because the two had already arrived at the Hokage building. Master Hokage. Azuki Shion took Xiao Yuchen back to the office. Sarutobi Hiruzen put away the ball on the desk indiscriminately, held the pipe and said, Yuchen, I appreciate you very much, your comprehension of the will of fire, blah blah blah. Then the old monkey said some old-fashioned words, mixed with Xiao Yuchen's approval, really like the old woman's foot wrap, smelly and long. Xiao Yuchen also showed professionalism and cooperated with the performance with a smile. In the blink of an eye, half an hour passed before the old monkey stopped talking nonsense and stated his purpose. To put it simply, let Xiao Yuchen summarize what he said in class yesterday and hand it in. He is recognized as Hokage and wants the whole village to learn. Old monkey, you are really shameless. Can you sum up what I said in class yesterday? It sounds nice to let others learn from me. In fact, you just want to keep it for yourself. When the time comes, put it in the textbook, so that future generations will remember you like the most popular Shadow. You deserve it too. Bah. But you don't have a few months to live. I'll make a deal with you first, and burn it to you when the time comes. I hope you study hard in the Pure Land. Okay, that's great. Kurama Yukumo was so happy he wanted to dance. Whether it's Xiao Yuchen's disdain for Sarutobi Hiruzen, or the latter's death. All good news. Third Hokage doesn't have a few months to live. Seeing this, all the women thought about it. The death of the shadow of one village is enough to affect the overall situation of the ninja world, and preparations must be made early. Lord Hokage, don't worry, within half a year at most, I will sort out all my understanding of the will of fire and hand it over to you. Xiao Yuchen patted his chest and promised. Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little dissatisfied with half a year. But thinking of Xiao Yuchen's words are really profound, he can't figure it out, and it's normal to spend more time. To avoid exposing the fact that his own culture is not enough, he did not raise objections, but words of encouragement. Finally, he took out 2 envelopes. Here are 2 envelopes, one is Uzumaki Naruto's guardian certificate, and you will become his legal guardian in the future. The other is before Naruto became a ninja, you will give him the last orphan's living expenses. Sarutobi Hiruzen handed out the envelope. Xiao Yuchen stretched out his hands to take it. At this time, boom, the office door was suddenly pushed open. Immediately afterwards, an old man with a cane and bandages on half his face and body strode in. He went straight to the desk and said coldly, Sarutobi, let Jinchuriki become a team ninja and be guarded by others, I don't agree. Xiao Yuchen didn't take the envelope and retracted his hand, turning his head to look at the person who came. Woohoo, Danzo, you're going to kill yourself. Look who I saw. King of Nabe, Darkness of Konoha, 5 points 5th Hokage, true Kazekage spokesperson, self-made Uchiha and Senju hybrid, the man who finally sealed the cage-level gatekeeper who died on half a bridge, Shimura Danzo. The tragedies of many people in the ninja world were all created by him. So many exaggerated titles, are they real? The world of ninja world is somewhat deformed, causing many people's 3 views to be abnormal. Many people have done wrong things, but from different standpoints, it is not necessarily purely wrong. Black Zetsu, who is covered in black, has been planning for thousands of years, plotting against Madara, plotting against Obito, plotting against Nagato, but also to save her mother. Filial piety is commendable. It can be said that it is absolutely not in vain. This Shimura Danzo is definitely ranked first. The death of Uchiha Kagami, the death of Uchiha Shisui, the persecution of young Yakushi Kabuto, key figure in the Fourth World War, the killing of Mu Yi by Yafunkping, the disappearance of the Nine Tails Chaos, the confusion of Hanzo to kill Yahiko, the leader of the Akatsuki organization, and the confusion of Kakashi to assassinate Sarutobi Hiruzen. Pain assassinated Mount Myoboku when he attacked Konoha to snatch Nine Tails, Naruto's tragic life, and so on. Danzo is definitely a small expert in internal fighting. He indirectly and directly eliminated Konoha one genius after another. I don't know if I thought it was a spy sent by other ninja villages. How ridiculous. Xiao Yuchen blows Danzo hard in the diary. The women who read the diary were greatly shocked. They had heard of the dark name of Konoha, but they didn't expect it to be so dark. What is Naruto's miserable life? In the sealed space, Kushina, who was still beating Nine Tails violently, paused. Yahiko's death is indeed related to Konoha, Danzo, and Black Zetsu, who lived 1,000 years. Saving the mother. Counting Madara and Obito and Nagato. Within the Rain Country, within the Rain Shinobi Village. After receiving too much information at once, Konan found a high place and landed, looking at the diary seriously. She didn't want to miss the next content. But immediately after, the corner of her eye twitched. There are too many things to sort out for a while. Wait for a suitable time to calculate how black this guy is. Stop looking for time. Can't you just now? What difference does it make if you follow in half and say you can't do it? Come on, man, come on. But no matter how the women shouted in their hearts, Xiao Yuchen couldn't hear it, let alone pay attention to it. He began to record interesting scenes that happened in the office. Danzo. This is my decision after careful consideration, and it cannot be changed. Sarutobi Hiruzen took away his pipe, exhaled heavily, and hid his face. He seems to like to use this method now to make himself appear inscrutable. Sarutobi. Jinchuriki haven't mastered the power of the tailed beast yet. If they go out at will and cause uncontrollable consequences, who will be responsible? Also, Jinchuriki is the village's weapon to deter other countries. How can you let an irrelevant person be the guardian? Danzo didn't shy away from the presence of Xiao Yuchen, and directly uttered wild words. Danzo, you are too superficial, Naruto. Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, and spoke out his thoughts. But Danzo sneered after hearing this. Next, the two sides will come and go, and the confrontation is wrong. In the end, Sarutobi Hiruzen had no choice but to pull out a trick. Danzo, I am Hokage. Sarutobi slapped the table. Danzo's complexion became visibly cold to the naked eye, and his chest kept rising and falling. Sarutobi, you will regret it. Putting down a harsh word, Danzo turned around and prepared to leave. Puff. A voice suddenly came from the side, making Danzo stop. Swish. Danzo's sharp eyes focused on Xiao Yuchen, who was standing expressionlessly. But he can be sure that it was this junior who laughed out loud just now. Puff ha ha ha. Why don't you write about Danzo well, and witness something funny again? As soon as doubts arose, they got answers. Sarutobi Hiruzen. Danzo, I am Hokage. Danzo. Sarutobi, you will regret it. Door slams. Famous scene. Famous scene. I was an actor in my previous life, and now I am a ninja. I have received professional training, and I can't laugh at anything funny. Unless I can't bear it. Balabala, briefly record what happened in the office. I think Danzo is so persistent about the position of Hokage. It has a lot to do with the old monkey's mentality. It is estimated that every time at this time, Danzo will think of the incident during the First Ninja World War. At that time, Senju Tobarama led people to form an alliance with Second Raikage, but encountered a sudden coup by Jinjiao Yinjiao. The two used the first-class ninja tools of Sage of Six Paths and the power of Nine Tails Chakra. Let Second Raikage I and Senju Tobarama be seriously injured near death. But Senju Tobarama is strong enough. Even though he was seriously injured, he still led his elite guards to break out of the encirclement, but Jinjiao Yinjiao led all the elites to pursue the victory, so he had to send someone to come. Act as a bait to trick the enemy away, so that others can escape in sufficient time. So Senju Tobarama asked several disciples who would be willing to be the bait, and it turned out that Sarutobi Hiruzen was the first to stand up without any hesitation. Senju Tobarama therefore appointed Sarutobi Hiruzen as third Hokage, and he himself was responsible for making bait to lure the enemy away. Since then, in Midnight Dreaming, Danzo must have regretted countless times for not being able to stand up at the first time. Seeing this, All the girls looked knowledgeable. The First Ninja World War is too far away from now. No one expected that such a thing would happen at that time. No wonder the players as strong as Second Raikage and Second Hokage died so hastily. It turns out that Golden Horn and Silver Horn have the weapons left by Sage of Six Paths and Nine Tails chakra. However, Second Hokage's acceptance of Third Hokage's fate actually happened under such circumstances, and a unique method was used to test it. From this point of view, Sarutobi Hiruzen wasn't that bad at first. Master Tsunade, what's the matter? Shizune noticed the strange expression on Tsunade's face. It seems to be a little bit different than what I know. Tsunade folded his hands on his chest and dragged his chin, and the two pet bears cheered and cheered, indicating that the matter was not simple. The old monkey accepted me as an apprentice after the First Ninja War ended, and it meant to win the support of our Senju clan to secure his position as Hokage. At that time, my grandma told me that the second grandfather had been optimistic about the old monkey before his death, and intended to train him as the next Hokage. In fact, the old monkey is not only the second grandpa's disciple, but has also received the teachings of the great grandpa, which is fundamentally different from Danzo and the others. So I don't think Grandpa too will choose the main generation Hokage in such a hasty way at that critical moment. The patriarch of a big family will be cautious in making decisions, let alone Senju Tobirama or second Hokage. If Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, Uchiha Kagami and others are all candidates for the next Hokage in Senju Tobirama's mind, then it is understandable that he chooses in this way in an emergency. But obviously already betting on Sarutobi Hiruzen, why use this method that is prone to accidents? There are people from the Uchiha family among them. Could it be that Uchiha Kagami stands up first, and Senju Tobirama will choose him to be the third Hokage? This is absolutely impossible. No matter how you look at it, this is not right. It was at this time that Tsunade found that some content had been added to the copy of the diary. After reading it, she suddenly laughed and trembled. Puff. Ha ha ha. That's right, this is how my second grandfather behaves. But in my opinion, Shimura Danzo is simply thinking too much. Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, Uchiha Kagami, Mitokado Homura, Udatane Kaharu, Akamichi Takakazi, although they are all elite guards directly under the command of second Hokage, they seem to be as close as Senju Tobirama on the surface. But in fact, Sarutobi Hiruzen, as the son of Sarutobi Sasuke, was not only taught by Hokage Senju Hashirama of the first generation, but also grew up under the strict education of Senju Tobirama. It can be said that he studied under the two Hokages. In addition to issues such as strength and character, Senju Tobirama has been cultivating him as Hokage. How could he suddenly choose someone else? The reason why Senju Tobirama asked this question at the time was probably just to find a suitable reason to appoint Sarutobi Hiruzen as Hokage, and he may even have had a good relationship with Sarutobi Hiruzen, and the two just played a double read. Imagine when Shi Zibo Jing is also in the team. He is a person who is stronger than Sarutobi Hiruzen in talent and ability, and is willing to sacrifice himself for his companions. Will Senju Tobirama choose him? Senju Tobirama is the most Grandmaster Haiden, born to be against Uchiha, who is playing with fire, invented so many forbidden technique, multiple shadow clone is for Sharingan, and dark technique is for Sharingan. Flying Thunder God technique is aimed at Uchiha Izuna Mangekyo Sharingan, and Impure World Reincarnation plus Tandem Paper Bombs is aimed at Izanagi. The entire ninja world knows his attitude towards the Uchiha clan. This is the person who can say, "Evil Uchiha," when he falls out of the house. Seeing this, the girls holding the diary burst into laughter. You have to call Uchiha evil when you fall down. This water style makes our second Hokage amazing. It feels a little cute. Terumi May covered her stomach with her hand and chuckled softly. Who would have thought that, apart from Haiden, it would be second Hokage from forbidden technique that was given by Uchiha? Samuel, who has always been calm and unsmiling, couldn't help but smile. Cloud Shinobi Village has a blood feud against Iwagakure, and likes to bully Kirigakure, but the relationship with Kenobi is actually much better. At most it is the limit of various blood successors in the village. Samui has no prejudice against Konoha, so he can bring in a relaxed perspective. This is the second grandfather. Tsunade laughed, and the two pet bears in his arms were almost unable to hold them, as if they could break free at any time. Shizune also laughed, and Hinata, Ino and others were not much better. Even Karama Yakumozui Kakuzu had a smile on his face. Only Azuki Shion endured it very hard, because she was in Hokage's office and couldn't laugh casually. But at this moment, she saw that the contents of the diary were updated again. So, as a man of Senju Tobirama's city, he would never choose an heir in front of the battle. The high probability is to create potential for Sarutobi Hiruzen. If Danzo said that he wanted bait before Sarutobi Hiruzen, I think Senju Tobirama would have said, "Okay, Danzo and I will attract the enemy. Sarutobi will bring the others back to Konoha and you will be the third Hokage." Ha ha ha. Puff. After all, Azuki Shion couldn't hold back and laughed out loud. Her laughter is very soft, but it is very clear in the office where needles can be heard now. Danzo stared at Xiao Yuchen with one eye for a long time. Several plans to make him disappear without a sound flashed in his heart, and then he barely suppressed the anger in his heart and planned to continue to leave. But Yue Shion's laughter completely angered him. From his point of view, it was the people of Sarutobi Hiruzen who were belittling him. "Hiruzen, look at your subordinates." Sarutobi Hiruzen hit the ground with his cane and said angrily, "There are no rules for each of you, and there is no respect in front of me, an elder. I think you should send them to my roots and let me help you educate them." Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not speak, but spit out a mouthful of thick smoke to cover his face, so that he could not see through what he was thinking. In fact, he also felt that Xiao Yuchen and Azuki Shion were wrong, making people think that Hokage had nothing to do with him. What kind of plane is the dead old monkey doing? I really want Shion's wife and I to go to Genbu's robot center to stay for a while? Hey, let's watch my performance. Boom. Xiao Yuchen reached out and slapped the desk, and shouted at Shimura Danzo. "Danzo, you are presumptuous." This place directly shocked Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo, as well as the surrounding Anbu members who were in charge of guarding. "Are you a genin teacher, so brave? Do you know what you're talking about?" Danzo's face was as black as ink. "I know, of course I know." Xiao Yuchen patted his chest and said passionately, "I'm defending the majesty of Master Hokage, and your old face of Danzo." Sarutobi Hiruzen. "Shimura Danzo. Elder Danzo thinks I'm disrespectful?" Xiao Yuchen asked back, and continued without waiting for Danzo's answer. "Then I don't know if the status of an elder is equal to Master Hokage, or is it one level lower than Assistant Hokage?" Danzo's mouth moved and he couldn't speak. He already guessed what Xiao Yuchen was going to say. "Elder Danzo." Xiao Yuchen's voice became louder. "Although you are Hokage's assistant, it is Master Hokage who values you and relies on you, and you are the one. If Hokage-sama doesn't care about your status as a friend, you're just an elder. When will the elders break into Hokage's office without Hokage's consent? When can the elders directly question Master Hokage's decision, or even bluntly ask Master Hokage to change? When will the elders say, 'You will regret it, because Hokage refused his request'? Is Hokage-sama Hokage, or are you Elder Danzo? If you continue to be so disrespectful, are you going to let Master Hokage abdicate and make way for the virtuous? Enough, shut up." Danzo snarled, hitting the floor hard with his cane, poking a big hole. He didn't speak anymore, turned around decisively and walked out of the office without even slamming the door habitually. He was afraid that if he stayed any longer, he couldn't help but use distinguished heavenly gods to order Xiao Yuchen to tear his mouth apart. He couldn't refute every question from Xiao Yuchen, so he was furious, filled with hatred and regret. Had he been Hokage, he wouldn't have faced this situation. "No, I want to urge Orochimaru to speed up the plan to behead the third generation. In setting things right, some sacrifices are necessary." A strong killing intent flashed in Danzo's eyes. "Cool, really cool. This is so cool, it can be regarded as getting back some interest for stepson Naruto. The diary has its own mental protection, and I am not afraid of illusions, including distinguished heavenly gods. Danzo this guy, I think he will be angry to contact Orochimaru, hurry up, haha. This highlight moment must be recorded, and it must be recollected in the future." Xiao Yuchen recorded the ins and outs, also accompanied by several photos of Danzo's dismay. Ha. Seeing this, the girls couldn't help laughing and shaking their heads. This traverser's mouth can really speak. But seeing Danzo's expression, they also feel very happy for no reason. Only Kushina can't wait to rush out of the seal now, and then grab Zhao Yuzuo's neck and ask, "What happened to Naruto?" And in the office scene, how does Sarutobi Hiruzen look at Xiao Yuchen now? Shimura Danzo holds the root in his hands. Even the patriarchs of the major families are afraid of him, and some families even let him choose people to join the root and dare not speak out. But Xiao Yuchen dared to attack, all because of the coercion of him, Master Hokage. This is the good subordinate who truly inherits the will of fire. In other words, Xiao Yuchen's ninja talent is not strong, and his strength is not good, otherwise he must be entrusted with a heavy responsibility. But it's also good to use as a bond for Jinchuriki now. "Master Hokage, I'm sorry, I lost my temper." Xiao Yuchen took the initiative to admit his mistake. Sarutobi Hiruzen quickly waved his hands and said with a smile, "No, you did well. Danzo, it's true that I indulged him too much, don't take it to heart. By the way, You will have to work harder as Jinchuriki's guardian in the future, and this is a reward. Sarutobi Hiruzen throws a scroll to Xiao Yuchen. Thank you, Master Hokage. Xiao Yuchen's expression became even more frenzied. He didn't open the scroll on the spot, which was not liked by the leaders. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded, spoke a few more words of encouragement, and handed the 2 envelopes to Xiao Yuchen. Xiao Yuchen took the initiative to leave after sending the envelope. After he left, Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of smoke and said, I just posted what happened in the office, and I can spread it to the outside world. Yes. A voice came from the shadows. A trace of disgust flashed in Azuki Shien's eyes. After reading too many diaries, she also hated this Hokage more and more after knowing the true face of the old monkey. Sealing circle. The sealing technique mastered by Iruka. Am I cutting a beard? Xiao Yuchen's figure was constantly changing between the roofs. After putting the guardian's voucher close to his body, he first opened the ninjutsu scroll given by Sarutobi Hiruzen. It records the usage method of the sealing technique in the binding circle. After casting, it combined the action ability of the target within the range of the 4 sealing symbols. Xiao Yuchen felt that the old monkey should not be stingy, but that he could only learn this ninjutsu with his strength. Use Shadow Clone to learn casually, and you can master it. It depends on whether you want to hand it over to Iruka or not. Putting the scroll away, Xiao Yuchen opened another envelope containing Naruto's monthly living expenses. Yo, there's quite a lot of money. The amount is quite a lot, 3,000 taels, enough to eat Ichiraku ramen for 3 meals a day. If you occasionally eat bread and milk or buy vegetables for cooking, you can save a little. Judging from the fact that Naruto can buy paint for pranks, it is indeed impossible for him to lack living expenses. Although the old monkey has his own calculations, as long as he has a good mind, he can't be harsh on living expenses. Shua. A few minutes later, Xiao Yuchen arrived at the single-family apartment where Naruto lived, and could feel someone watching nearby. He went straight to the window of Naruto's house and looked inside. I saw that Naruto was boiling water, as if he was preparing instant noodles. Xiao Yuchen smiled and said, Naruto. Naruto was taken aback, but when he saw that it was Xiao Yuchen, he smiled immediately. Teacher Yuchen. Yeah. Xiao Yuchen nodded, then jumped into the room and said, it doesn't matter if you call me brother or dad from now on. Huh? Naruto was stunned for a moment, and asked in doubt, is this too intimate? He knew that he was hated by the villagers, and he was afraid of hurting Xiao Yuchen. Look at what this is. Xiao Yuchen took out the guardian certificate and handed it over. Naruto took it carefully, and after reading it carefully, he was struck by lightning. Afterwards, he watched it several times, with a smile on his face, but his eyes became moist. He thought Xiao Yuchen was joking with Iruka, but he didn't expect it to be true. From now on, he really needs relatives. Some people will take care of him, but they will also care about him. Brother Yuchen. Naruto sobbed. Things worth being happy. Why are you crying? Xiao Yuchen smiled and handed the living expenses to Naruto, and then said, you put the money away by yourself. You can buy snacks, ninja protective gear, or treat guests to eat. If you don't have enough, then ask me for it. Uh-huh. Naruto nodded with a smirk, but the tears couldn't be stopped. Xiao Yuchen reached out and rubbed his head, then asked, but why don't you call me dad? Brother Yuchen, you are not a few years older than me. I can't scream. Naruto scratched his head. But I would rather you call me dad, silly son. That is to say, I wore it late, otherwise I would definitely be your real father. But it's good now, at least Hinata and the others can cultivate it. As for the rest of her, it can't be considered a miss. I am obliged to speak about Wei Wu's legacy. Then call again when you think the time is right. After saying something meaningful, Xiao Yuchen was about to leave. In the evening, I have to have dinner with Anko and the others, so it is inconvenient to take Naruto with me. Wait for some time to get some money for 2 houses next to each other, and then perform the duties of guardian. When Naruto heard that Xiao Yuchen was leaving, he didn't ask him to stay, but just asked him to wait a while, and then ran to the refrigerator to fetch a bottle of milk. Brother Yuchen, here it is. This milk is my treasured version. I haven't drunk it yet. The silly Naruto only wants to respond to people who treat him well. Xiao Yuchen did not refuse either. As Naruto's future stepfather, he must have spent more money on this cheap son. When he was really about to leave, Xiao Yuchen noticed out of the corner of his eye that the time on the milk carton was wrong. Naruto. What date is it today? March 15th. Naruto scratched his head and said, graduation exam on March 20th. This milk is expired. Xiao Yuchen raised the milk in his hand, 7 days. Huh? Naruto asked blankly. Expired? What do you mean? Xiao Yuchen. You don't know the expiration date? Does it mean that the expiration date has expired? Naruto took the milk and pointed to a line on the box. That's right. Xiao Yuchen. I know that. Naruto said with a smile. The things I buy seem to be expired or about to expire. Is there any problem? Xiao Yuchen. Expired food will deteriorate, that is, it will go bad. Xiao Yuchen tried to maintain a smile and said, eating too much will hurt your body and cause stomach upset. So that's how it is. Naruto patted himself on the head, suddenly said, I said why I always have a stomachache, so it's because of expired food. I can eat more Ichiraku ramen, Xiao Yuchen. Damn, I can't stand it. Sarutobi Hiruzen, old monkey, you really deserve to die. Originally I thought about whether Orochimaru would save you when he killed you. Decided, not only to ensure your death, but also to kill you, defeated, famous, cracked. Orochimaru is still too gentle to you, you are not worthy to die as a hero at all. And Shimura Danzo, not only do you have to die, you also have to leave me with a bad smell 10,000 years. Depend on. Hiss. Seeing the updated content in the diary, all the girls rubbed their eyes hard. After confirming that they read it correctly, they were all shocked. Yuchen is so angry, what happened? What the hell happened? Even if it's just cold words, all the girls can feel Xiao Yuchen's monstrous anger. This guy who claims to be a time traveler has been writing his diary with a game mentality these days, but now he is suddenly so angry and emotional. What exactly did Sarutobi Hiruzen do, third Hokage? Shimura Danzo. In Satamigoka Villa, Kurama Yakumo was not happy about Xiao Yuchen's hostility towards Sarutobi Hiruzen. She didn't allow the man she valued to be made so angry. She wants power and wants to kill everything that makes Xiao Yuchen unhappy. A black air began to permeate her whole body. Orochimaru is going to kill the old man. On the carriage, Tsunade's expression became very solemn. Combining the contents of the previous diary, she can draw a conclusion. Orochimaru and Danzo conspired to do something a few months later, and Sarutobi Hiruzen would die in that battle. But judging from Xiao Yuchen calling Danzo a 5.5th generation project and his willingness to play for 5th Hokage, this old bastard failed to become Hokage as he wished. Die as a hero, because of the last tenderness of the snake? It really seems like something you can do. There was a little more seriousness on Tsunade's face. Even though she was going back to Konoha, she didn't have the slightest intention to stop Orochimaru. Perhaps, he also felt that Sarutobi Hiruzen deserved to die long ago. It is indeed a gift to die well, but looking at it now, there should be changes. Yuchen. Why are you so angry? Tsunade pondered. Knowing this will allow her to decide what to do next. Standing by? Contributing? Even helping Xiao Yuchen? As for Shimura Danzo, 10,000 deaths are not enough. He really knows about Konoha's collapse plan. In Sanagakure, the land of winds, Temari's complexion became very serious. As the daughter of the 4th Kazekage, she already knew something in advance. All along, she was afraid of Xiao Yuchen mentioning in the diary. But now it seems that things are backfired. Considering the identity of Naruto and Sasuke's future savior, she felt that she needed to do something. This time I went to Konoha, it seems that there is a lot of fun to watch. Sam Yi, Terumi Mei and the girls from Haitu became curious. Konoha suffers, Hokage dies, they may just be happy. But the existence of Naruto, Sasuke and Xiao Yuchen made them not plan to do anything. This fellow Orochimaru wants to come back and kill the old monkey. There was a lot of hatred in Anko's eyes, but he quickly held back. If it was before, she had nothing to worry about, she just wanted to die with Orochimaru. But it is different now, she wants to know more about Xiao Yuchen, and wants to keep chasing the diary. I still need to know more information. It is best to let Orochimaru and the old monkey die together, so that the master and apprentice can complement each other. Anko had an idea. The reactions of Yuhihong, Azuki Shion, Hyuga Hinata and others were relatively flat. Either they can look at things calmly, or they come from big families, and they are not foolishly loyal to Hokage. They are more concerned about why Xiao Yuchen's mood has changed so much. And who cares more than them, is Uzumaki Kushina. She had a premonition that the reason for Xiao Yuchen's anger was what she cared about and wanted to know the most. But Xiao Yuchen didn't say it all the time, and he didn't know this time. Said it. Kushina's eyes widened. Maybe it was really too angry, and there was nowhere to vent it for the time being, so Xiao Yuchen wrote it down in detail in his diary. Old monkey, I have always thought that he can be considered black, at most he can be regarded as a gray person. After all, those who play politics are dirty, and pure white will only die faster. He wiped out the Senju clan with subtle means, but in the final analysis he was an idiot who wanted the clan to fully integrate into the village, resulting in the dilution of blood inheritance, but Uzumaki Mito didn't stop it, which means that the problem is not serious. However, Senju Tobarama is not Senju Hashirama, who wants to leave a direct descendant, but dies one after another. 3 in the war, whoever said that there is no old monkey's handwriting, who believes who is an idiot. In particular, the death of Senju Nawaki made Tsunade suffer from hemophobia and left Konoha for more than 10 years. There is definitely a core contradiction. Nawaki. Tsunade's expression changed. Shizun's complexion also changed, and he said, "Master Tsunade, your fear of blood has been." "It's okay." Tsunade waved his hand and said, "The reason why I have this symptom is that I feel cursed and afraid of losing. But now that there is a chance to resurrect Nawaki and even more people, do you think I will still be afraid?" At this moment, Shizun felt that the Sannin from Megatron Ninja had returned. Sending the direct descendants of the Senju family to the battlefield is something the old monkey can do, but Senju Nawaki's death must have nothing to do with him, and he has no reason to do so. On the other hand, Shimura Danzo, whether he wants to study Hashirama cells or fight against Tsunade, a potential competitor of Hokage, has a reason to take action against Nawaki. I remember that Nawaki died in a miserable manner at that time, and his internal organs were all cleaned out. This can be proved. As soon as the news came out, all the women wanted it. Is this how dark the darkness of Konoha is? No wonder Xiao Yuchen said that Danzo can't be cleansed. Just researching first Hokage cells and assassinating Senju's descendants is enough for him to die several times. Danzo. Tsunade smashed the entire carriage with one punch, and the chakra all over his body gathered to form a gauze around his body. She really felt that the Nawaki matter was tricky, but she was too angry and desperate at the time, so she didn't think much about it. After thinking about it carefully, she found nothing to investigate, so she fled out of the village. But now Xiao Yuchen's words are ironclad proof. Desecrate the remains of the ancestors, study the forbidden power, and kill my brother. I will never die with you. The killing intent in Tsunade's eyes was so intense that it was ultimate. In the diary, Xiao Yuchen broke the news and continued. Excluding the Senju clan, there is also Hitaki Sakumo. Would ye buy a Megatron Ninja World, whose name can stop children from crying, yet committed suicide? How ridiculous. The root of the problem is that he has too much prestige and has the qualifications to become a Hokage, but he is not a Hokage, so he was rejected. Tianshin uses the will of fire to publicize the importance of companions, but Hitaki Sakumo is accused of rescuing his companions for violating his mission, and even the public opinion has developed to the extent that the whole village insults him. Is there anyone behind the flames? Naturally, it is the handwriting of Ninja Darkness, but Sarutobi Hiruzen also knows it, but is happy to see it come true. The purpose of the two may be to blow Hitaki's prestige, so that he is not qualified to compete for Hokage, but they did not expect that he is not only a ninja, but also a samurai spirit, and finally chose to commit suicide, which became the fuse for the continuation of World War E. Nausea. Azuki Shion uttered 2 words from the bottom of her heart. Shouting the will of fire, Hitaki Sakumo died because of practicing it. How ridiculous. Azuki Shion made a decision and proposed to withdraw from Anbu after a few days. Serving as Hokage's direct subordinate makes her feel disgusting. It's not as easy as being a ninja teacher outside, and it's also convenient to show her presence in front of Xiao Yuchen. The extermination of the Uchiha family can be said to be a legacy of Senju Tobarama. Sarutobi Hiruzen does not intend to exterminate them all for the sake of Uchiha Kagami. Both Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi trust him, so it doesn't matter if they talk beautifully. Uchiha Itachi is out of his mind. Danzo's tricks continued. The friction between the Uchiha clan and the village reached its limit, and the whole clan was preparing for a coup d'état. The incompetent old monkey couldn't think of a way, so he had to ask Uchiha Itachi to do it. But Uchiha Itachi actually massacred the clansmen and even his parents to disintegrate the coup, and he left with Sasuke's hatred. In this way, Konoha's casualties can be minimized, and the outside village will not be invaded. The glory of the Uchiha clan can be maintained. Uchiha Sasuke can grow up in a peaceful environment, and he can also threaten the village not to attack Sasuke from the outside. Of course, there are also Uchiha Obito and Danzo, 2 guys who spy on the Sharingan. However, Uchiha Itachi should have regretted it after doing this. Otherwise, he would join the Akatsuki organization as a spy, but he would not have passed any information to the village. Even after the death of Sarutobi Hiruzen, he returned to the village for the first time. It is obviously a deterrent Danzo. But so what, you, Uchiha Itachi, will eventually pay for your stupid behavior, and it's useless to regret it. Hiss. Seeing this information, the women were extremely shocked. Who would have thought that this is the truth about the destruction of the Uchiha clan, but it seems that everything can be explained in this way. For Uchiha Itachi, they despise and admire at the same time, which is not contradictory. Itachi, Sasuke, pure landworld, Uchiha Makoto burst into tears. She didn't expect these things to happen after she and Fugaku died. Their fulfillment actually caused Uchiha to completely perish, leaving only two brothers Itachi and Sasuke, who are still enemies. Knowing this earlier, I would rather resist Yi Gaozu with all my strength. Fugaku, your decision is wrong. At this moment, Makoto has an irreparable rift with Fugaku. Of course, she has ultimate hatred and killing intent towards Danzo and Sarutobi Hiruzen. Shua. Her eyes are changing, becoming 3 Tomo Sharingan, and they are still choosing to condense into a special pattern. But it seems that the successor is weak, or there is a lack of some key, and the special pattern has not been formed. There are many other things. Either Danzo cuts first and then plays, and the old monkey just takes it lightly. Either the old monkey simply acquiesced, or guided by the situation. If nothing else, just talk about Naruto's tragic childhood. Boom. As soon as the words, tragic childhood, came out, Uzumaki Kushina's killing intent became real. Nine Tails, who had been beaten violently but was still swearing, shuddered and closed his mouth decisively. In the beginning, I chose to conceal the identity of the son of Ming Nine Tails Jinchuriki and 4th Hokage, which is understandable to everyone, and it is a kind of protection. Son of the 4th Hokage. Hinata, Ino, Anko, Yuhihong, and many women who didn't know about this incident opened their mouths in surprise. Uzumaki Naruto, hated by the people of Konoha village, is actually the son of a hero? Anyone who has some understanding of Naruto's experience over the years will find it incredible. No wonder my father said that I can play with him if I want. Ino is glad that he didn't treat Naruto differently, even because of the relationship between Shikamaru and Choji, it's okay for him. Otherwise, she would not be able to forgive herself. Hinata also thinks about the same. At the same time, they have been able to understand Xiao Yuchen's anger somewhat. It's just that Xiao Yuchen and Naruto are not related, so there's no need to be so angry, right? However, it didn't take long for the fact that Naruto was a Jinchuriki to be leaked and become the target of hatred from the whole village. I heard that the nanny in charge of taking him wanted to kill him. If Anbu, who was secretly protecting Jinchuriki, found out in time, the consequences would be disastrous. Crack. Kushina clenched her fists, making crackling noises, and the veins all over her body burst out. This matter, certainly not what Sarutobi Hiruzen did. As a Hokage, there is no need for him to do this kind of thing. Being known by the people below will only damage his image and reputation, although he didn't have many such things at the time. But he still has face. Who did the leaking of Naruto Jinchuriki's identity? In fact, it's easy to guess. It must be Danzo, who wants to use this to force the old monkey to hand over Naruto to him as a tool for training. Actually, this matter can be easily resolved, as long as Sarutobi Hiruzen announces the identity of the son of Naruto 4th generation. It is true that the identity of Nine Tails Jinchuriki is annoying, but the identity of the son of a hero can make him not be so hostile, at least keep the surface of kindness. But Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't do that, instead he chose the darkest way to deal with it. He did not hand over Naruto to Danzo, nor announce the identity of Naruto's son of a hero, but issued a ban on those who knew the situation, and secretly ordered the villagers not to do harm to Jinchuriki. So they all resorted to cold violence, and occasional name-calling, against a child for 12 years. Kushina suddenly closed her eyes, and her state completely converged. But Nine Tails not far away swallowed his saliva, his hair stood on end, feeling that a great horror was about to come. During this process, whenever Naruto is lost, depressed, or confused, he will appear. Every time I pay him living expenses, he does it himself. He keeps brainwashing Naruto, telling Naruto to become Hokage to protect the village so that he can be recognized by everyone, thus deepening his glorious image. He has countless ways to deal with Naruto, but he uses the dirtiest way to make himself a ray of light in Naruto's heart, controlling him from the point of view, so that this Jinchuriki can't escape his Hokage's clutches. He disgusts me, but also disgusts his political methods because he sympathizes with Naruto. But now, he makes me angry. Just now, I told Naruto that I became his guardian. He cried happily and gave me a bottle of milk that he said was treasured when I left. As a result, I saw that it had passed. Expect. It is indeed possible to be careless if you put things out of date, or buy expired food. But Naruto told me with a smirk that, except for eating Ichiraku ramen, the food he bought himself since he was sensible seems to be almost expired. Hehe. There are so many expired items in this huge Konoha village, are they all sold to Naruto? What's even more ridiculous is that after I told Naruto that eating expired food would cause stomach upset, he smirked and touched his head and suddenly realized that he would stop eating expired food from now on. It can be seen that before today, Naruto did not have the concept of expired food in mind. The old monkey can find an excuse to explain everything that happened to Naruto, but what about this matter? Is it impossible to make Naruto full? Naruto is Uzumaki or Jinchuriki, but he is at the bottom of the class in height and looks stunted. Sarutobi Hiruzen will not feel any guilt when you see it. I think probably not, otherwise you would have changed it long ago. So you damn well, you have to be ruined, and then with Danzo for 10,000 years. The girls felt Xiao Yuchen's anger again. But this time, they were no longer puzzled and curious, but empathized with them. They are outsiders, but when they heard what happened to Uzumaki Naruto, they felt sympathy. This Sarutobi Hiruzen, too cruel. Well. In the sealed space, Uzumaki Kushina opened his eyes and opened the magic blessing again. After a while, the voice of Namikaze Minato reappeared in this space. Boom. Before Namikaze Minato could speak, he was punched in the face. But this is just the beginning. After beating for an unknown amount of time, Uzumaki Kushina stopped and said indifferently, "This is for us. No, it was my son. I don't want to explain to you either, you can see for yourself." After finishing speaking, Kushina looked at Nine Tails and said coldly, You should know what happened to Naruto, and used chakra to share the memory with us." Nine Tails originally wanted to say something arrogantly. But after meeting Kushina's sight, it decisively stretched out two fists. Fist bump with the old man. Kushina and Namikaze Minato immediately followed suit. Boom. Fists intersect, chakra links, memories share. Taking Nine Tails as the main perspective, Naruto's life so far begins to play. When everything was over, Namikaze Minato's face was also gloomy and terrible, and he remained silent. After a while, he asked Kushina, "Kushina, what do you think?" "Thoughts?" Kushina looked at Namikaze Minato, and his voice was so cold as ultimate. "Master Fourth Hokage, do you wish to die again?" "Dead or dead?" The way Uzumaki Kushina spoke made Namikaze Minato's heart twitch. But when he thought of Naruto's childhood scene in the shared memory, he felt that all this was completely reasonable. He also did not expect that his children would suffer so many unfair treatment in this village that he guarded with his life. With Kushina's character, after knowing these things, it is normal to be angry no matter how angry she is. On the contrary, being so calm like now made him feel a terrible strangeness to Kushina. "You want me to consume the chakra that remains in the seal, introduce Naruto's consciousness here, and then you use Shadow Clone to leave here temporarily?" Talking to smart people is easy. Although Kushina's death is death, sounds a bit inexplicable, but Namikaze Minato can understand it. According to his design, the chakra left by both of them in the seal will be activated when the seal is about to be completely released. At that time, they will be able to meet him in Naruto's spiritual world through chakra's particularity. His chakra will appear first, giving Naruto a chance to reinforce the seal. Kushina's chakra will appear later and will help Naruto control the power of Nine Tails and enter the Golden Body mode, Imperfect Jinchuriki, Kurama mode, using Nine Tails chakra. But in fact, there is another way to use their chakra. Chakra is extracted from physical energy, that is a mixture of physical energy and spiritual energy. They can meet Naruto in the spiritual world, and naturally they can also use some special means to meet, physically, such as Shadow Clone technique. The principle of Shadow Clone is to equally divide its own chakra, and because of the 8-sign seal, Nine Tails chakra and both of them can be counted as part of Naruto chakra. If Naruto uses the Shadow Clone, their chakra can occupy the main body and control the spiritual space. They can temporarily take over the control of the Shadow Clone until the chakra is exhausted. The premise of using this method is that Naruto needs to trust them enough to be willing to hand over Shadow Clone to them for control, and to know how to divide their chakra. But to meet this premise, they need to meet Naruto first and gain his trust. And they want to see Naruto, either when the 8-sign seal is about to be completely unlocked, or they activate chakra to see Naruto by themselves. After meeting, the remaining chakra will dissipate. That's what Kushina told him to die again. That's right. Kushina said with a cold face. "You activate chakra to pull Naruto's consciousness into the spiritual space. After we meet him, I ask him to cast Shadow Clone to release me temporarily." In the memories shared by Nine Tails, they already knew that Naruto learned Shadow Clone. "Why are you doing this?" Namikaze Minato didn't immediately agree, but asked in confusion. "Are you going out to make trouble with Konoha?" "Even if I want to make a big fuss about Konoha, is there anything wrong with that?" Kushina asked indifferently, murderous. She doesn't care whether these villagers are ignorant or fooled, it is a fact that they brutalized and beat Naruto. As a mother, she wants to seek justice for her son. Is there anything wrong with that? Namikaze Minato was momentarily at a loss for words. He was also angry in his heart, angry that the ignorance of the villagers brought misfortune to Naruto's childhood. But he is still Hokage, able to calmly look at this matter from the perspective of the overall situation, angry but helpless. But if these words are used to persuade Kushina, she is afraid that she will be even more furious. Kushina, our chakra will protect Naruto at critical moments, and even help Naruto master the Nine Tails chakra to deal with the masked man. Namikaze Minato persuaded. He believes that Kushina can control his emotions by standing up for Naruto's good. But he doesn't know that Kushina has the adventure of having a copy of the diary, and now has magic blessing infinite energy. Even if he goes out for a while, he can come back and continue to exist. He didn't even know that Kushina was angry not only because of the villagers' attitude towards Naruto, but also because of the shameless old monkey Sarutobi Hiruzen, the teacher of Namikaze Minato. You didn't protect Naruto's childhood in the past, and you have the ability to manage the present, but you turned a blind eye because of some false future. Kushina opened up directly, becoming more and more dissatisfied with Namikaze Minato. Neither did he behave like a father should when he sees his children suffer injustice. As Hokage, do you have to suffer for your own children for the sake of the villagers? Look at old monkey cronyism. Let me tell you, I didn't intend to embarrass those ignorant villagers when I went out. I'm going to settle accounts with the old monkey. Kushina finally gave an explanation. Master third generation, what happened to him? Namikaze Minato was taken aback. In Nine Tails' shared memory, third Hokage is one of the few people who has always been nice to Naruto. What happened to the old monkey? Kushina sneered again and again, telling what she saw in the diary. Of course, she didn't mention the diary, and she didn't follow the script, but summed it up in her own words, but the order was clear, and everyone would believe it 70% when they heard it. As for Namikaze Minato being able to become fourth Hokage, he is naturally not a political novice. After being mentioned by Kushina, he immediately realized that everything was true. He clenched his fists tightly, anger showing on his face. Huh. Namikaze Minato let out a sigh of relief, controlled his emotions and said, Kushina, where did you know these things? He knew very well that Kushina had never been the kind of person who was as delicate as silk, let alone in a state of rage. Even he didn't catch the problem in time, Kushina found it intriguing. Whether it's the third Hokage thing, or the Uchiha Obito thing. Kushina is either in the Pure Land, or here, how do you know? And the state of Kushina's ongoing existence, which is also weird. Minato, you let me down. Kushina closed her eyes slowly, wanting to laugh angrily. At times like this, I don't want to seek justice for my son, I don't want to go to Sarutobi Hiruzen for an explanation, but I am still concerned about the problem. What happened to my son in the past 13 years, is there nothing else important? Kushina, I'm afraid you will be deceived and used by others. Namikaze Minato explained and glanced at Nine Tails by the way. Nine Tails felt extremely wronged immediately. It's just been beaten by Kushina for most of the day, okay? If it weren't for the uncertainty of Kushina's situation, it would definitely be fragrant. Bewitched and used by others? Kushina asked back with a cold face. Master fourth Hokage, please tell me, one who has the ability to make me not have to worry about chakra consumption, and one who can summon you here from Shinigami's belly without breaking the seal. Existence, what can bewitch and use me? A person like that doesn't have the power to destroy Konoha. Still can't kill the old monkey? I went out just to get justice for Naruto. Namikaze Minato was at a loss for words, but he remained calm and said, anyway, I think. Don't say it, don't think it. Kushina interrupted Namikaze Minato arbitrarily, and said, I've been thinking about it for the past 2 days, and I've been thinking about whether our decision that night was right. Now it seems that the mistake is outrageous. Without parental protection, what village, what third generation, your master Jiraiya and disciple Kakashi, which one appeared in Naruto's life? Don't talk to me about secrets, the overall situation, the village, in short, it is my child who suffers. If you don't say you've made a difference, I'll be happy even if you scold me a few words, but you didn't, instead you are persuading me. Lord Fourth Hokage, I don't seem to have gotten to know you properly. Kushina thinks that she used to be a love brain. She and Namikaze Minato have essential conflicts in some bottom lines and 3 views, which are irreparable contradictions. I'll ask you one last time, for the sake of Naruto, are you willing to help? Ju Zinshin asked seriously. Kushina, I. Namikaze Minato struggled, and finally chose to remain silent. He has his own considerations, and he does not think that his considerations are wrong. Very good. Kushina gritted her teeth and spit out 2 words. She really didn't expect that Xiao Yuchen, an outsider, would be so angry because of what happened to Naruto, and even verbally wanted to seek justice for Naruto, making third Hokage and Danzo pay the price. But as a father, Namikaze Minato has to take care of the overall situation. How ridiculous. Why is there such a big gap between people? In this matter, you have your own considerations and your position as a Hokage, and I will not argue with you about right or wrong. But since you choose to stand on the side of the so-called overall situation, you are not enough to be Naruto's father again. Next, you just have to look. I will seek justice for my son, Uzumaki Naruto. Kushina said the word Uzumaki very seriously. Then, she turned her head to look at Nine Tails with threats in her eyes. 9. Namikaze Minato had a premonition that something was wrong, and opened his mouth to say something. But the next moment, he felt that the environment around him had changed, changing to a wet sewer. Nine Tails, what are you doing? Namikaze Minato turned and glared at Nine Tails. The big sister asked me to take you away. You can keep your opinion. Nine Tails lay on the inside of the iron gate, squinting at Namikaze Minato with a mocking expression. Namikaze Minato's angry appearance cured him of being beaten up by Kushina for most of the day. Send me back. Hee, you can do it by activating your own chakra. Nine Tails sneered. Damn it. Namikaze Minato looked uncertain. Nine Tails only felt happier, and then stretched out a finger and slapped forward. The surface of the water under Namikaze Minato's feet fluctuated suddenly, and finally turned into a picture of Uzumaki Kushina's side. Actually, you don't need to consume chakra to pull Naruto here. I just want to know how you will behave after knowing all this. After all, you still let me down, Lord Fourth Hokage. Kushina seemed to be muttering to himself, and after finishing speaking, he activated his own chakra. After half a day of experimentation, she discovered that the magical blessing of infinite energy allows her to consume chakra unscrupulously to do anything. As long as you return to Naruto to seal chakra before midnight tonight, she will still not disappear. Boom. A stream of chakra, which is not too big but can be continuously regenerated, began to continuously impact the 8-sign seal. Soon, a small crack appeared, and a little bit of this chakra seeped out, establishing a direct link with the chakra in Naruto's body. In the Naruto apartment, Xiao Yuchen has been away for a long time. Naruto sat at the table, opened the lid of the instant noodles and prepared to eat. At this moment, he only felt that his abdomen was getting hotter and hotter, so he lifted up his clothes and took a look. When he was wondering, he found that the surrounding environment suddenly changed, and then he came to a world filled with brilliance, and not far away was a woman with long red hair who was crying. The appearance of the woman crying made Naruto feel sad for no reason. He wanted to ask something, when he saw the woman came to him, hugged him, sobbed. Naruto, I am your mother, Uzumaki Ju. Chinai. Mom. Naruto froze on the spot. After a long while, he said in a daze, Mom, why are you crying? I didn't ask myself why I was an orphan, I didn't ask myself what's going on now, and I didn't question Kushina, but cared about her emotions first. At this moment, Kushina felt more guilty for the original decision, the hatred towards Uchiha Obito and Danzo, the anger towards Sarutobi Hiruzen, and the coldness towards Namikaze Minato also deepened countless times. Naruto, Mom, it's good to see you. Kushina told Naruto to sit down, wiped away his tears and smiled. And Naruto went through a series of emotional changes such as doubts, puzzles, doubts, and surprises, leaving only happiness. He had countless questions to ask, and Kushina was not in a hurry, and patiently answered them one by one. At the same time, Zhao Yu had already returned home and was pointing to Tien Kaosu. But his mind is actually not on this, but doubting the world again. The picture of Hinata, Ino, Yuhihong and Anko living in harmony in his home made him feel very unreal. Hinata and Ino should focus on Naruto and Sasuke respectively. Kurenai Yuhi and Anko, as well as Yuzuki Yuyan, have never crossed paths. But now, they all suddenly became like good friends, and even went to his house for dinner together. It would be normal if this happened in a dream, but it happened strangely in reality. Infinite Tsukuyomi world? He dreamed of opening a harem, so his wish came true? But he can think of this incident, which doesn't quite fit the situation. And with Naruto and Sasuke around, Infinite Tsukuyomi will be released eventually, don't worry. He suspected that the contents of the diary were seen by others, causing a butterfly effect. But after thinking about it carefully, it seems impossible. Think about it differently. If he is any one of Hinata and the others, after seeing the contents of the diary, he knows the truth of this world and his identity as a time traveler. Would it be foolish to do abnormal behavior and be discovered by him? It must be carefully verified first, step by step to test, get clues and so on. After learning about the future, he may do something, but he will definitely not show his presence in front of him as a traverser in a short time, so as not to arouse his vigilance. This is not in line with normal human behavior. Unless, approaching him can get some kind of benefits that cannot be refused. But is it possible? I said. Are you sure only I can see this diary? Xiao Yuchen questioned the diary in his heart. The diary did not give an answer, but returned to the first page. It clearly says, this diary is only visible to the author, can be read, recorded, and rewarded. No problem, indeed only he can see, so, am I really suspicious? I always feel that something is wrong, but I can't tell. After thinking about it, he felt that he still had to be careful, don't be stupid and not know if he was sold. Correct. Xiao Yuchen had an idea, and recorded his thoughts in a diary in a targeted manner, while secretly observing the expressions of the 4 daughters at home. But after looking carefully, he found that none of the 4 women had any abnormal reactions. Anko was lying on his side on the bed, resting his head on one hand, flipping through comic books and taking sugar pills to his mouth with one hand. Ino and Yuhihong exchanged flower arrangements on the balcony, mainly the former. Hinata is all about stir-frying. Not responding for a while doesn't mean anything, I have to observe and observe. Xiao Yuchen felt that it was a 10,000 years boat to be cautious, and he couldn't take it lightly. What he didn't know was that the 4 daughters of Yuhihong, and even Tsunade Terumi Mei and the others were all in a panic at this time. Mitarashi Anko. This guy has such a long brain, he can think of so many things, and he seems to be looking at me all the time. Sisters, I am so scared that my feet are cramping, what should I do? Hyuga Hinata. Sister Anko, before that, you should change your posture first. Teacher Yuchen has been looking at you, maybe because you are fat, and the fat is showing. Evening Red and Ino. Anko, don't make trouble, we endured very hard. Konoha. Xiao Yuchen apartment. On the big bed, a long snake suddenly swam out from behind Anko, sticking out its tongue at her cheek. She turned her attention away from the book with some doubt, and followed her gaze to Xiao Yuchen. Seeing that Xiao Yuchen was really staring at her somewhere, she stared blankly, with just the right amount of blush appearing on her cheeks. She immediately sat up and pulled up her short skirt, and then said, Mr. Yuchen, you are not a gentleman at all. I just don't know how to remind you, Xiao Yuchen said seriously. To be honest, he didn't expect that Anko, who looks carefree and cheerful on the outside, and whose clothes are more sexy or cool, would naturally like pink. The heart of a girl is the true heart of Anko? The contrast is cute, this is yes. You are the only one of the opposite sex present, as long as you don't look at it, it's fine. Anko waved his fist, a weak warning. Xiao Yuchen touched his chin thoughtfully and said, you were right, but this is my home. The implication is that I love to look where I look. Anko was suddenly out of breath, changed his posture and sat down and said, but I'm a girl, you should respect me. Can you say something like this with arrogance? Xiao Yuchen nodded slightly, and then said, but this is my home. You can do whatever you want in your house. That's right. Xiao Yuchen said solemnly, in my house, I can do whatever I want. Anko, you'd better not seduce me like this, otherwise I don't know what I will do. You are unreasonable. Anko looked like he was about to collapse. At this time, Hinata said weakly, Mr. Yuchen, how do you think it is now? Xiao Yuchen turned his head to look, and immediately said, it's almost done, let the fire collect the juice. Seeing that he didn't pay attention to her anymore, Anko sat there and sulked. But in fact, her mind was once again on the copy of the diary. Mitarashi Anko. Sisters, how is my acting skills? Yuhihong. Very good. I'm in Zhaohong, summoning snake. Yamanaka Ino. He, very real. Hyuga Hinata. Well, group chats are exhausting chakra, let us get down to business. Azuki Shion. Hinata is right, please be serious, don't let Mr. Yuchen find out the problem. That's right, the 5 girls are now in a group chat. At noon today, Anko treats guests to drink sugar water, and the 5 of them take out their diaries to add friends to each other. After the discussion, they found that they could chat in groups, but chatting would consume more chakra. If chakra is less than half of its heyday, they will be passively offline, and will not receive information. Mitarashi Anko. Actually, I don't understand what you are nervous about. Even if you let Yuchen know that we can read the diary, it doesn't matter, right? Yamanaka Ino. In this case, teacher Yuchen will definitely restrain himself when writing his diary, and we will not be able to know information related to the ninja world and his true thoughts. For Ino, Xiao Yuchen is very special. He needs to work hard but can know some real thoughts of she. Coupled with that irresistible appearance, she is simply her ideal type. Hyuga Hinata. It's not so good to spy on the heart. Yamanaka Ino. Really? Hinata-chan, I asked you to peek at what teacher Yuchen was doing this afternoon, But you fell into a coma. Can you explain in detail what you saw? Well, thinking of the afternoon's harvest, Hinata only feels top-heavy. She also didn't expect that after she got Otsutsuki chakra to further develop the white eyes, the clairvoyant eyes could be manifested to that level at will. She just felt that no woman should be able to bear that thing. At this time, Xiao Yuchen held her little hand holding the spoon with his hand, and said in a gentle tone, "Stir-fry this, and it will be out of the pot." Hinata only felt that all the cells in her body lost strength, and her neck tilted and she fell directly into Xiao Yuchen's arms. Xiao Yuchen. This is too embarrassing. What can I do when I am doing serious things? Hinata disconnected. Outrageous. Maoyue Xian. Stop chatting. I am afraid that you will show your feet, so listen to my summary, and raise any objections later. Azuki Xian. Don't let Mr. Yuchen know that we can see the contents of the diary. I think that I want to know the secret information about the ninja world, the true face of some people, and even the future, etc., can only be used as additional reasons, and it cannot be regarded as the purpose. Otherwise there is no difference in treating Mr. Yuchen as a tool, which is very unfair. Can you agree? Azuki Xian felt that this premise had to be raised. It was amazing and strange, but she didn't want to deny that Xiao Yuchen had a special place in her heart in just 3 days. Perhaps this has something to do with her greed for Xiao Yuchen's good looks and knowing that he is better than herself, which perfectly meets her criteria for choosing a mate. In short, she doesn't want anyone to use Xiao Yuchen as a tool. And she felt that, with Xiao Yuchen's observation and analysis skills, it was only a matter of time before the contents of the diary could be seen by others. Women who have a copy of the diary will do themselves harm if they do not have the right attitude towards him. Whether public or private, Xiao Yuchen feels that this criterion must be established. Mitarashi Anko. You must agree. If anyone disagrees, or if I find that my heart is not in agreement, I will never show mercy and serve you like a snake. She who was abandoned by Orochimaru hates her ulterior motives the most. Shi Rihong. I agree. Hong felt that she didn't need to say much at all. If it wasn't for Xiao Yuchen's reminder, wouldn't her life be a tool to bring benefits to the Sarutobi family? And she felt that Kurama Yakumo would never allow someone to use Xiao Yuchen as a tool. Yamanaka Ino. I want to start a beautiful teacher-student relationship. Ino thought that it might not be enough for him to express his opinion. After all, he had only opposed it before, so he simply expressed his immature thoughts. She just felt that Xiao Yuchen gave her a sense of security, but she didn't think of the latter as a tool. Is teacher-student love okay? Uyue Xian. The tone is set here. If we find other women who have a copy of the diary in the future, we must use this standard as the bottom line for making friends, otherwise everyone will be hostile. Azuki Xian. Let me talk about the biggest reason why I personally think that Mr. Yuchen cannot know that we can read the diary. Azuki Xian. Don't forget, except for those who also have a copy of the diary, we cannot disclose the existence of the diary to outsiders, otherwise there will be great terror. Azuki Xian. What will happen if someone finds out that we have a copy of the diary? Will we become able to speak, or will we also die? We are not sure about this. Azuki Xian. So before we are sure that we will not be in danger, we should be as cautious as possible, not only to prevent Mr. Yuchen from discovering that we have a copy of the diary, but also to prevent outsiders from discovering it. Seeing these speeches, the mood of the girls sank. They never thought so much before, so deeply. Indeed, revealing the copy of the diary to Xiao Yuchen is not only a matter of whether they want to, but also a matter of whether they can. A little caution is required. Mitarashi Anko. Shi Yan. You are worthy of it. I received it. I must hide it well. Yu Rihong. Received. Yamanaka Ino. Received. Hyuga Hinata. Received. Hyuga Hinata has awakened. Now that she can eat enough, although she is still very shy, she is not so prone to hypoxia. It didn't take long for Xiao Yuchen to put her on the sofa before she regained consciousness. Azuki Xian. It's good to understand. Finally, I want to tell you a good news. Mr. Yuchen didn't he know that we were mentioned more than 10 times in his diary, and we can get rewards. Azuki Xian. So the closer we get to him, the more difficult it is for him to associate with the diary. After all, this goes against the normal psychology of people. Azuki Xian. So as long as you behave casually, and don't show strengths that are too inappropriate for your current period, such as Hinata's soft step double lion fist, the problem will not be big. Xian's words made Ino's girls feel relieved. Xiao Yuchen was an actor before time travel, so it was a lot of pressure for them to perform in front of him. But if you can do whatever you want, and only need to pay attention to certain details when getting along, then the problem will not be big. The 5 of them ended their chat immediately. Although they could chat on the copy of the diary with their minds, Xiao Yuchen might find it tricky if they often wandered off. Dinner. Xiao Yuchen finished the dishes and invited everyone to eat together. Smells good. Mitarashi Anko came to the dining table as fast as he could in his life. Looking at the delicious dishes on the table, he felt his appetite whetted. Pork ribs, corn soup, braised pork, sweet and sour fish, tomato scrambled eggs, potato shreds, minced meat eggplant, a total of 6 dishes a day. The first 3 were made by Xiao Yuchen himself, and the last 3 were made by Hinata under his guidance. The shiny braised pork made Anko instinctively reach out and want to grab a piece. But what greeted him was a pair of chopsticks. Snapped. Wash your hands first. Xiao Yuchen had a gentle smile on his face. I know, I'm not a child. Curling his lips, Anko reluctantly walked to the bathroom. Obviously she was about to get that piece of meat. But this kind of concern of being criticized by others is very comfortable. Let's go. After everyone washed their hands, Xiao Yuchen gave orders like the head of the family. Next, the differences in family education and personality are reflected in the girls. Ino and Hinata follow the rule of don't talk when you eat and don't talk when you sleep. Yuhihong is slow, gentle and will say a few words to Anko. Anko's actions looked rude. But Xiao Yuchen didn't care about it anymore, but enjoyed the harmonious atmosphere. Soon, a table of dishes entered the stomachs of 5 people. Anko frantically used the diary to show off Azuki Shion. Xiao Yuchen turned his head to look at Hinata, showing a meaningful smile. Teacher, I'm full. Hinata's face was blushing, but Yan Wei was rare. Can the stock of the big stomach king pass? I know. Xiao Yuchen said with a blink of an eye. I know the mealtime of your Hyuga clan, and with your personality, you must be able to eat well. If you can still eat this much for the second meal, you must be full. Hinata. This man is really hateful. Why does he like to tease her so much? Peeved. Ino smiled unkindly. Xiao Yuchen resolutely pointed the contradiction at her and said, Ino-chan, how can you laugh at your companion? Punish you for washing the dishes. Mr. Yuchen, girls washing dishes will make their hands unattractive. Ino immediately said coquettishly, I still need to arrange flowers with this hand, can you do it for me? Boys also need to take good care of themselves, you know. Xiao Yuchen said solemnly, otherwise, no women will like them when they grow old. The 4 girls immediately rolled their eyes. Let me do it. Yuhihong and Hinata said at the same time, then looked at each other and smiled. Seeing this, Xiao Yuchen joked, you two will definitely become good wives and mothers in the future. Yuhihong smiled generously, expressing her willingness to accept. Hinata's complexion was reddish, but Xiao Yuchen praised her so many times in the diary, and she also has a certain degree of immunity. Besides, she is full this time, Okay, this is my house. There's no reason to ask guests to wash the dishes, I'll do it. Xiao Yuchen asked Hinata and Yuhihong to sit down. Just when they thought this guy was finally a gentleman, they heard her say, whenever you become the hostess of this family, I will let you go. Pooh. The 4 girls spat in their hearts. I don't want to be your hostess. Hinata, Ino, the teacher will give you a free lesson. Xiao Yuchen stood up and did not act in a hurry, but made a gesture of nodding. Ninjutsu is not for fighting and killing, but for enjoying life. We hurt our hands when washing dishes, but Shadow Clone doesn't. Boom. A Shadow Clone appears Just as Xiao Yuchen was about to tell Hinata and Ino some more truths, a chakra full of evil aura suddenly appeared within the range of perception. This direction is Naruto. 9 Tails. The area where the orphan lives is naturally in the same area. The apartment building where Xiao Yuchen lives is not far from Naruto's residence, within a range of 100 meters. Shua. Xiao Yuchen used the body flicker technique to come to the balcony, and then to the roof, looking towards Naruto's residence. After a breath, Kuranai Yuhi and Anko followed behind him. Both of them have Grandmaster perception, and also feel the unusual chakra. This is. Xiao Yuchen was dumbfounded when a figure appeared in his eyes. Uzumaki Kushina, resurrected.